It's anime, and it's everything. All right, welcome to the A&E podcast, where I already made a mistake. But we are the three of us, Romeo. We also have Ven,
Hey.
and we have Fujin as well.
Hello.
Louder, Fujin. They can't hear you in the back.
Hello.
Yeah, but we're going to be talking about anime, a little bit of everything mixed in. Today we have a specific theme that we're going to go in, but for the first episode, just to kind of get the vibes, lay down some ground rules. So between bits, we'll be checking chat, making sure to look at what you're doing, but don't expect a quick response. Since we want to keep the conversation flowing, just make sure that if you do message in chat, you give us plenty of context so that our responses are relevant. But other than that, let's hop right in. We got about 2 to 3 hours. So the theme is the good, the bad, and the hear me out. Before we get started doing book clubs or having hot takes or anything like that, each of us prepared 3 anime that we think are really good, 3 anime that we think are bad for whatever reason, and we also have 2 that are going to be our hear me outs, stuff that you either may not have heard, you may not agree with, but we're willing to fight for it. All right, you all did bring your anime, correct?
Yep.
Yes, Mr. Spells.
I don't want to have to fail anybody on the first episode. But sick.
Yeah, true. I can't be taking that F.
Taking that F. Oh, that actually brings me into one of my anime already. So I tell you what,
What?
I think we agreed that we're gonna do.
I know, Romeo. Please teach us in your top 3, isn't it?
You said which one?
Please teach us in your top 3, isn't
Please, Teacher is in my honorable mentions.
it? Wait, is it actually?
It's
my God.
actually in my honorable mentions.
Romeo,
I was
that
so
should be
close.
Hear Me Out.
I was so close to putting it in my hear me out. That's why it's in the honorable mentions.
It should have been in your Hear Me Out, to be honest with you.
That's funny. All right. Well, for the structure of this, let's go ahead. I think I liked Fujin's idea. Let's go through our 3 goods. We'll probably have a lot less disagreement on that. Then we'll go through the bads, and then we'll save the hear me outs for last. Sound good?
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah. I'm pretty content with that.
Okay. Well, since you're content and the god of anime himself, how about you start us off, Fujin?
Oh no, it's gonna make me start. Okay. Well, which one do I pick first is the question. Okay. Right. I'm gonna start with. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with Mob Psycho 100.
Quality. Snaps.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. I was worried. I was worried that there would be a negative reaction there, in which case we'd have a problem.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna box on Mob Psycho. I mean,
But yeah.
that's pretty good.
Sorry.
No, please, no need to apologize. Get in there.
It's probably okay. This is a big proclamation straight out the gate, but I think it's one of the only anime, well, apart from maybe like a couple of other examples, that have a consistently good 3-season run. As in, like every season is as good as the other season.
Okay.
Like the animation's just as good in every season. The story's just as good in every season. There's consistent character development. The opening's always good. The soundtrack's always good. Like, I think you can just feel the effort that they put into making this the best possible adaptation they could. Like, it's one of the few examples where it completely blows the manga out of the water. Like, the manga's great, but in terms of an adaptation, it does everything the manga does, but better.
I mean, you can
like
say
every
that.
single scene
Oh,
is
sorry.
memorable. Oh no, yeah, go ahead, Remy.
No, I was gonna say you can say that about all of One's works, low key. I do have my issues with
Well,
One
I
Punch
think
Man
with
season
One Punch
2,
Man,
but
with the One Punch Man, it's slightly different because the story has changed. Because obviously, there's the Yusuke Murata like version of One Punch Man. So So obviously there'd be like story differences, whereas like Mob Psycho is like a direct adaptation. So as far as I know, nothing's left out
Okay.
or changed from the story. So I think obviously with One Punch Man, yes, you can definitely make a case that like of course it's better. The animation's fantastic, the music's fantastic, but obviously there's story changes compared to the original material. Whereas with Mob, like it's pretty much just like the prime experience is the anime, really.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Well, I knew that there were changes between the manga, the webcomic, and the anime, but I thought that the anime was pretty faithful to the manga. So if
Oh
if
no,
there's
yeah, the anime is faithful to the manga, but I'm saying like as an adaptation of One Punch Man as a like a including the webcomic,
okay, okay,
it's not
gotcha.
like the one prime form of One Punch Man you can watch because it hasn't got all the content in it.
That makes sense.
It's not like Mob Psycho 100 where like everything that the original has to provide is translated into the anime.
And you haven't watched Mob Psycho yet, have you, Venice?
No, I was gonna say I can't really say much because I haven't seen it, but I hear it all the time as a really good anime.
Nobody has One Punch Man on their list of the three, right? The three goods, right?
No, I don't at
No,
least.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. So then,
I mean good show, but it's not on my top. It's not in my list of three.
so my question is, Fujin, between One Punch Man and
Yeah,
Mob Psycho, which one would you say is superior?
no, Mob Psycho 100 hands down.
Okay, hands down, hands down. Okay, we agree. All right, sick.
Shall I make my case there or?
No, no, no. No. We agree. We agree. I wanted to try to act like Mob Psycho. No, no, no. It's not as good as One Punch Man, but yeah, it is the superior work. Mm,
Well, the thing with One Punch Man is not only is it one of his earlier creations, so like he's clearly still trying to figure out like what exactly he wants to be as an artist, but also like it's predominantly a parody series. Like it's got bits of story here and there, but it mostly exists to pastiche like the hero genre as a whole. Like it's not got like much of a solid core. Like obviously there's the whole like ennui thing with Saitama, but that's more of like a character core rather than a story core.
mhm. Yeah.
And most of the secondary characters exist either to be parodies or to revolve around Saitama. There aren't many like um strong plot threads surrounding specific characters apart from like maybe the occasional like one or two chapter story. It's like like Speed of Sonic flashback or like
Yeah. Yeah.
flashy flashback story. But most of it's like it's just like a parody of a genre. Like Flashy Flash is a ninja parody. Like Atomic Samurai is a samurai parody. Like like
Pig God
that's
is
pretty much
is
all
a
they
is a goaded
are.
parody.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with Mob Psycho, like from the very beginning, like it takes. I think the thing is with Mob Psycho, like it takes the premise that people expect from his work in One Punch Man. He goes, like, oh, it's a psychic high school parody, but
Mhm.
then it turns out on its head, and it's like, no, like it may look silly, but it in fact has a really solid core of a story, and every character gets character development, and there's like actual like stakes, and yeah, so it's definitely an evolution of what he's capable of.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this one too, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going with the list and come back. It's just one. I When it comes to parody writing, I actually think that there's an argument that he doesn't do as much parody, or that as he again began writing, he included more story elements and the parody lessened
Oh
significantly
yeah.
so. To where like the end of One Punch Man, later parts of One Punch Man are just Mob Psycho. If he had written One Punch Man at that time, he started writing Mob Psycho. But let's go ahead and get to the next one on the list since I know we got like 24 things to go through and my honorable mentions. So, Ben, you want to hit us next?
Yeah.
Okay, so for my top anime, one of them I have is Erased,
Mm,
which is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
super solid.
I thought it was
You don't
really
need to
good.
shill Venice. You're not being employed by them.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet. Okay, Netflix isn't paying
Oh,
us.
my bad,
Not sponsored yet, really.
Oh, oh, let me not name drop for free. But I thought it was a good mystery. I feel like I have a problem with anime mysteries because most of them tend to start off slow. So this one I feel like right off the jump, it starts off pretty quickly with the plot points.
Mhm.
And my favorite thing actually about it are the characters and their relationship to each other. So yeah, I think it's the top of mine. I feel like a lot of people say that the murderer or like the villain is obvious by the end of it, like it's not really a surprise, but I still like it. I like good anime.
So what's crazy about that is that I don't think the murderer or the villain is obvious. It's only obvious if you have certain like biases or certain notions. Like if you're like, oh God, it's children. It's got to be the person who's close to children. I guess without giving
Mhm.
spoilers. Um, but other than that, they do a really good job of like focusing on the characters so deeply or like so much that the mystery of who it is doesn't play as much of a role as like how is he gonna save them. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
that's solid. You've seen this one, right, Fuja?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I've definitely seen it. Right? I've watched it like 3 times. It's
Got
fantastic.
yeah.
Oh, snap.
But I do have some lingering thoughts about Erased as a whole. Um, First of all, I just think it is probably one of the best mystery shows I've ever seen. Like
Mhm,
it's the characters are fantastic. The way they set up the sort of mini arcs. The cinematography is fantastic. Like that's probably half of the suspense come from just the way it's
mhm,
animated and the way it's filmed. The atmosphere is fantastic. How much time they choose to spend with each character is great. The main character, like Satoru, is just like, and he's a down to earth guy, but and he's not some ridiculously smart detective, but he's also not stupid either. He's like in that perfect in between
mhm,
space where
Mhm.
like he can make silly mistakes, but he's
Yeah.
willing to like act on the information that he's got. And some of the things like some of the most interesting parts are where like you see him make a mistake and he falls into like a situation and then he has to try and get out of it.
mhm.
Um, but the main issue I have with Erased, because like again I think it's like a 9 out of 10 show, and the reason it doesn't go into a 10 out of 10 is because the ending just kind of like happens, and it's really sudden. Because
Really?
like I don't know if I can spoil it on in the in here.
All right, wait,
People haven't
quick
seen it.
pause, quick pause. Okay. This
Um,
is your obligatory spoiler warning. For the next 3 minutes, we are going to talk about specific plot points related to Netflix's not sponsored Erased. All right, there's their warning. Go for it.
yes. Okay. So the bit after he he has like his coma,
Mhm,
um, and then he wakes up like years later and he catches up with the present day again, and like I forget her name, but like the girl who he became friends with, who he saved in the
mhm,
past, just like dates one of his other friends and marries them, and it's like okay, cool, fine, whatever, I guess. And then the teacher just like I don't know, like he kind of just reappears all of a sudden. And then they have like their final confrontation over the span of what I believe is only 2 episodes,
Mhm.
which felt quite sort of anticlimactic. Like well, there was all this build up, and then obviously the scene in the car when it's revealed that he is the killer, and then you just have the time skip pretty much like immediately after that, and then the resolution just sort of like is like, they have like one conversation on the roof of the hospital, and then like that's it. Like all that build up, and then there's a really like there's this all this time you wait, like well not physically like 'cause it's only 1 episode, but he waits all those years in the coma, has to get his memories back, and then he's just like there already. It just felt like they were in a rush to get to the ending in the last couple of episodes there.
So I'm going to completely disagree with you on that. Part of the reason why I like how rushed the ending is because he's coming out of the coma, kind of getting reacquainted with his memories. Life has moved on, but from his perspective, like his whole life was about stopping these murders or these disappearances, right? And so, reasonably speaking, if he hadn't been in a coma, the very first thing he would have done was address that issue, right? And the reason the teacher just pops back up, the teacher's the bad guy, by the way. The reason he pops back up is because now that he's awake, now that he's there, his goal is to confirm like if his secret is out or if he has his memories, if he needs to take care of it. So like he's there to kill him, to clean up. Most likely he was monitoring him the whole time that he was in the coma to see like how his health was doing. Is there any chance that he's gonna open his mouth? And So the moment his memories are back, the moment it's confirmed, it's like, yeah, I got to kill you. You got to die. I respect what you did. There's not a lot of build up because where it ends off when he's in the past, if you connect that directly to once he has his memories back in the future, I think that's a reasonable conclusion. The only reason there's a lull is that he was in a coma, which also is reasonable. So for me, the hype never ended. It was just like, when is the pin going to fall, right? When are we going to get there? But we know it's coming because we've seen that these two both know who the other are at this point.
Oh, no, the thing is, I fully agree with all your points. I just think it's the pacing of that information was what I didn't like. It's like you have this interesting setup of like
Mm-hmm.
the coma and the killer watching him, and then him getting his memories back slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But then compared to like the earlier arcs, where like we get this like the tension and the mystery is sort of like built up and played out across
Yeah.
a few episodes. Like they have this cool idea of like he's lost his memories from the coma, and then he only remembers then and acts on it. But I think that would have been cool to have like a whole another arc where like he's in the present day, and then like he hasn't quite adjusted to his life, and then he has to like find the killer again.
Is it okay?
So
So
he's back to back to the disadvantaged position that he's been in before, and has to work his way back up again. Because it feels like they had this setup that they had with the whole coma thing, but then they just didn't. They were just too much in a rush. So we'll just click our fingers and solve it in one episode, and it's like doesn't feel very satisfying.
see, so I was actually about to say that I really respected the ending there because I would have personally felt that it was artificial to do another season or do another arc. I felt like after the teacher has understood that by some cosmic means he's been exposed, right? There is this present danger to his livelihood, his life. He's got to constantly be checking on him, has to constantly be looking at it. Like there needs to be some sort of conflict or confrontation. So that happening in 2 episodes, with how thorough he was, I couldn't imagine him living his life even with amnesia. The hospital's the only place he would have been safe. So I personally stand by it. But I don't dislike your reasons for wanting another arc or season. I just wouldn't have personally preferred it myself.
Oh no, definitely not a whole season. Literally just like maybe like a 3 or 4 episode
3 or 4
arc. Just
episodes. Okay.
like because it'd be nice to see him come back to the present. Because there's a lot of stuff he left behind in the present that it'd be nice for him to reconnect with,
Mm.
and then sort of like basically finish the whole what he started in the present, but like in a sort of like more consequential kind of way, rather than just this one episode conclusion where he gets his memories back and then that's just like it.
Well, okay, really quick. So chat, I see Fujin, Miku. No, sorry, I see Arc, Miku, Cheese Grater, Star. Welcome everyone. Right now we're doing the premise of the episode, which are going to be our good anime, bad animes, and then some for like a hear me out. Venice went over Netflix's not sponsored Erased as one of her
Oh
best
my god.
anime. So Fujin was yapping about how I wanted 3 more episodes, and I'm stoically over here like it was perfect the way that it was. But other than that, as we're kind of going through the conversation, we won't be super active for chat. So if you have any questions, try to make them like detailed or thorough because we'll check them between each segment. Um, but unless we have anything else to say about Erased, I'm going to go ahead and pop on mine.
Yes, what's
Okay.
yours? What you got?
Lay it
All
on
right.
me.
I'm going to get the duplicate out of the way. I'm sure at least one of you has it on your list. But let's go. Dandadan. Dandadan's definitely made it on my list of 3 for good. I'm not going to say like the best of all time, although Dandadan has a lot of potential. But ultimately, this is just based on the anime. So no manga for this one. I think when people complain about like One Piece pacing or try to talk about how only time we're going to mention the show during the stream, Jujutsu Kaisen has good stream or good pacing. Dandadan is that. I want to say they have that like Saturday morning cartoon like villain of the week vibe while still maintaining a lot of the momentum episode to episode. Like it's not serialized in like that Family Guy way, but every time you turn on an episode, there's going to be a.
Why did you have to say that?
You say, well, because like Family Guy, they get blown up, and then the next episode they come back, and it's like, oh yeah, no. Lois is still full. No, there's consequences in Dandadan. There's stakes. The only thing is you probably can't watch it with your parents in the room unless you want them to feel very new emotions. Got to catch up with season 2. Yeah, you definitely got to get in there. And we are watching. Let me stop responding to chat. But we are watching Gachakata, where we started that a little while ago. So you'll be hearing about that, but it didn't make it onto my list. Just know Dandadan is peak, unless my co-hosts disagree.
No, I agree. Intros are always fire.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Turbo Baba is Luffy, so there's nothing else I need to say.
Yeah, if you like Dandadan, you have to like
That's
One
the
Piece.
selling argument right there.
Yeah. Luffy's gonna gobble your weenie.
Not about any of the content of the anime. No, just the fact that Luffy is a Turbo Granny. That's all we need.
That is so funny. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something with that when we do like a Dandadan
Yeah.
themed episode. We're gonna have a Luffy Turbo Baba. Ah, sick.
No,
All right.
no notes from you.
No, no.
You have mentioned peak. The manga is also peak.
Once.
I want the best character from the manga to show up, and I think she might
Ooh,
at the end of season 2 if we're lucky. So
ooh,
Oh wow. Okay, I'm excited.
because
exciting.
there's a one frame shot of her in the opening of season 2. So I'm hoping that's enough. And the guy that appears in the arc that she appears in is in the opening as well. So like there's
Okay.
a possibility she could show up.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited. I think we have an
So
episode to
crossing my
watch
fingers.
that just came out recently, Venice. So we'll pop
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
But really quick, if you all want, I have chat popped out. I'll be watching it. We're not gonna be responding to everything. Miku says we should watch chat so that she could rage bait. She did just lose her mod status for saying
Wait,
fuck,
what? Fuck
fuck,
One Piece.
yeah, fuck One Piece. Shit sucks. So we did lose a mod on the channel. You know, all that good stuff. Rest in piss.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah. But I'll go ahead and pass it to Fujin. He can say his next anime. As uh, that's a good eulogy for Miku. All right, go ahead, Fujin. You're up.
Sorry, I got so distracted by that. It's okay. I think we should remod Miku.
Remod Miku. I already gave the wrench to Arc.
Yeah, I can forgive this transgression.
That's funny. All right, come on, Fujin. What you got?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Next. Okay. Well, I kind of just have to mention it. Like, I was gonna be like, do I not? Do I mention it? But of course, I have to mention my child Steins Gate.
Okay.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, I'll
For
mistake.
I'll say I'll let you say and then I'll say what I think.
No. I want to hear.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, I've tried to watch Steins Gate twice. I just could not get past 3 episodes.
Oh no! Every time
Mm-hmm.
people can't watch past episode 3, I don't get it. What is it? The first episode alone is such a good setup. There's a mystery. There's like all the characters' personalities. Like okay, I'm gonna yap about this again. Steins Gate has one of the best episode ones of any anime
Better than
because
Attack on Titan.
it does everything that an episode 1. Well, depends because like Attack on Titan, they do different things. So like Attack on Titan episode 1 is also really good. Essentially Steins Gate episode 1 and Attack on Titan episode 1 do the same thing. They establish the premise of the show. They establish what the main character is about. They establish like what the nature of the world is. Obviously, in Steins Gate, is pretty much just a regular world. And then like, but the thing I like about Steins Gate is that it like, so first of all, just from what episode 1 does from like a normal watch perspective, is that you've got like most of it is done without any sort of like exposition at all. It's just like character dialogue and then like plot progression. The character dialogue is like literally like on point. Like Okabe and Mayuri's relationship like straight away from how they interact. You know that he's goofy and a bit deranged, but he's putting on as an axe because you pick that up straight away. then you get the mystery. Obviously, Chrissy appears and says she knows him, and he's like, I don't know you at all. And then you sort of question it. It's like, oh, like, and depending on how much you've heard about the show before, you might know it's about time travel. So you might go, oh, like maybe that's related.
Bro,
And
spoilers.
then obviously, I think people know that already.
I don't.
And then obviously at the end of episode 1. Okay, well there you go. At the end of episode 1, there's a big reveal, and there's a big cliffhanger that like goes, okay, right, I can't wait to watch episode 2 to find out what the cliffhanger is. Like I will admit that episode 2 does drag its feet a little bit, but that's because it's introducing the 2 other main characters. It introduces the main setting that we're in, the Future Science laboratory, Future Gadget Laboratory, sorry. And obviously Daru and then Chrissy are properly introduced into it. So like from episode 1 onwards, I'll admit it's a slower burn, but I think it benefits from that later on. Like by the time you get to like halfway through the series, those like really dramatic moments and those really good character moments are only really earned because you sat with these characters through a lot of character development in the early series. So I wouldn't say there's a single episode in Steins Gate that needs to be taken out for pacing reasons, because the pacing is essentially like ideal. Because even in the slower parts, it's all there, so you can. Because again, I can't say why later on because it's a spoiler, but there's a reason why the period of time that these characters spend together is important. That comes up again later on, and they reflect on it a lot in the story. So
all right, so quick pause. I sent a link in chat. I have not seen Steins Gate, and I only know one thing about it, and it's Smollett talking about on stream about how he tried to watch Steins Gate 3 times, just like you, Venice, and he could not get through the first 3 episodes. Then he said he finished the 3rd episode, and I believe after that, he finished the entire series in one go. It's like once you make it past that 3rd episode, apparently Steins Gate pops the fuck off, and you can't put it down. So it's just really funny. You're not alone on that one, obviously. I'm planning on watching it at some point. There's like too much stuff to watch. But I do believe that shows that have build up or are slow aren't bad. Like I'm a One Piece fan, okay? Every time you get a payoff or you get like a mystery that gets solved and it's like that dopamine hit, you just think back to like, ugh, I went through 13 arcs to get here and he's still giving me my fix. So it sounds like it should be my kind of shit. But we'll get to it. For now, Fujin, because neither of us have seen it, you get the pass. But once I watch Steins Gate, I'll come back.
Okay.
I was gonna say I don't.
The best part about episode 1. Oh, sorry, Venice, you go first.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I don't disagree. I think maybe I watched it too early in my anime journey when I couldn't handle all the slow stuff. So I'll probably give it another go too.
Oh, go ahead.
But go ahead.
The true peak of episode 1. The true peak of episode 1 is that it has rewatch value. When you finish the series and go back and watch episode 1, knowing the context of the mysteries, it actively improves the episode.
And I was just about to guess that part of the reason you like episode 1 so much is because of everything that's layered in there. But okay.
Yes.
I am curious if you had any information on Steins Gate going into it, which is why you were able to make it past on the first go round, or are you just built like that?
No, when I watched it blind. Basically, I heard good things. It was about when was that? It would have been over 10 years ago, probably about 2014. I first watched it, I think. And I just bought I'd heard good things about it. I found it in the DVD store, so I just bought the DVD and watched it when I got home, and I thought it was great, so I just kept watching it.
Okay, that's why you ended up getting into it, because you watched it before streaming was a thing. Which same for One Piece, low key. Like, I feel like if I had watched One Piece when Crunchyroll and anime was mainstream, it would have been hard for me to get into it because you have 1,000,000,001 things to watch already, let alone one of the largest works of fiction ever at this point. Like we're getting into Tolkien levels of words to page. So, all right, sick. Well, that's solid. We got Steins Gate. I didn't expect that one to come up on your list. I really thought you were going to pick something that I'd never heard of, but so far, super solid. Venice, you are up next.
Okay, so for my next one, I was debating on whether or not to put this on my Hear Me Out, and this choice more so goes to show my personal preference in anime that I like to watch. But I have Watakoi Love is Hard for an Otaku. I don't know. I don't think you want.
I'm hearing peak right now. I'm hearing
Okay,
peak right now.
okay, great. I love this
This is what I
show.
wanted to hear.
I think this
Okay,
show is it's such a good example of like a chill, relatable slice of life type anime.
Mm, mm,
And they don't do all that. It's about relationships basically. And they
okay.
don't do the whole runaround of like people making big romantic gestures and this and that and having like extremely long drawn arguments. Like I feel like they just talk like normal people and they handle their problems like normal people and somehow they make it super entertaining. At the same time, the aesthetics of it peak and I like all the characters. So what's not to like?
I haven't seen this one. You said it's Life is Hard for an Otaku?
Yeah. Love is hard for
Oh,
an
Love
otaku.
is Hard for an Otaku. Okay. Okay. Is
Yeah.
it actually otaku or are we talking about a weeb?
No, they're like game otakus and
well,
want
they're
to
like gamers and nerds.
they
Mm.
like boys love type stuff,
Otakoi?
that kind of thing.
Do you have chat up, Fuja?
Stream chat, yeah.
Oh, okay. Otakoi. Okay, gotcha. No, you just give me the
Okay, I
name
can
of
see
it.
it.
I didn't watch it though. Miku, shut the fuck up. This is why I can't look at chat. I'm so
You,
sick. Oh my god. Can I take away? You know what? Maybe we'll do a quick timeout.
Well, if you do want to watch it, it's on non-sponsored Amazon Prime. So
Non-sponsored Amazon Prime. All right, sick.
well, Romeo, it's one of the best romance shows of all time. I will definitely say that.
Okay. So Snore
It's
probably won't watch it.
basically just like, goddamn, bro. Um, it's basically just like imagine a romance show, but they're all nerdy adults that work in an office, and they're all as autistic as each other. That pretty much sells
true.
the show. To be honest.
They're all autistic. No, I may give it a go. When it comes to romance anime, it's really tough because like I'm in the middle of creating the best romance anime of all time. I'm just working on the script each and every day. So we'll see. I'll let you know when I
So
start
true.
actually drawing the panels. So it just seems weird. Like I
Yeah, I
assume
know.
Oda's not watching JJ. Oh, I haven't mentioned it again. Fuck JJK. I assume Oda's not watching JJK while he's putting pen to paper to make peak. So that's why it's really hard for me to watch romance
I
anime.
certainly hope not.
But maybe I'll give it a try sometime soon. If it's the best romance anime
Okay.
of all time.
Well, I think basically just elaborate on what Venice said. Like, I just like the fact that it doesn't lean into like the sort of the the kitschy stuff from like the other romance, where like it hasn't got like the generic like like oh like unnecessary argument that gets resolved like 2 episodes later, or
Hmm.
or anything like it doesn't mull over like the mushy stuff too much, or it doesn't have
Mm.
like the
Okay.
really overly dramatic like wind blowing through the hair or kissing scenes. It's just a down to earth like this is how
Yeah.
adults who work in an
Okay.
office have a romance. They just go out for drinks in the evening, hang out at each other's houses, like have the occasional cute moment here and there, but it just like it's just nice. It doesn't feel like you're being sold too much drama, or it's very realistic.
I mean, that's the main thing that I don't like. It's always funny. Anime that bother me, and this goes for any genre. I hate when I can tell that the person, the mangaka, is like an overly awkward person in real life. And a lot of times it's like so awkward it's problematic. And when that shit starts to bleed into a story, it makes me sick to my stomach. I'm like, don't get therapy, get like life coaching or something, right? Find a friend who does normal stuff okay and just talk to them for 5 minutes because obviously you're writing this instead of practicing. But before we move on to my pick, Miku says she's not gonna watch Wotakoi because she's already seen Netoge and Recovery of an MMO Junkie. So how do those compare?
Okay, so Miku's watched two worse versions of Otakoi, basically. So
All right, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Based on what I know of Miku, I assume that she somehow reached in the trash instead of the cupboard. So cool. Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, understandable.
On to the next one. I got for my next one, I have that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's it.
For your next one, Remy.
Oh yeah, that's my next one. Yeah.
Wait, did I get the order wrong? Is it me next or you next?
No, it's me next. You did Steins
Oh yeah,
Gate.
I got it mixed up. Ignore me. Okay, good point. Keep
Bro,
going. Keep
bro is
going.
trying to step in front of the. All right, food is getting skipped. I'm gonna do my third one before he does his third one.
What? Hold on a minute.
No, but I have that time I got reincarnated as a slime. A lot of what you said about what is it, Wotakoi, is what I would say about this show. It's really interesting in that it captures like a slice of life feel where people are dealing with problems in like a common sense kind of way. Like the characters are big in their own ways, but they're also like heartwarming and actual people. So even though it brushes on to things like politics, relationships to a degree, um, you know, the idea of like escaping or reincarnating into a world where you can get away from your work life, your inadequacies, and like build up to be better. Unlike a lot of other isekai, it does still have a lot of good interplay between the characters. Rimuru, who is the main character, who is the slime, yes, the world collects and coalesces around him, but I just have so much fun watching him interact with all of the monsters, all of the humans, and like they're really fleshed out. So even if you don't find yourself to be like engaged with isekai generally or like the chosen one type stories, this one is engaging enough in its power system, in its character building and world building that there's a lot there, almost on the level of let's see, what would I compare it to? Now, there honestly isn't a whole lot that I've seen that's really comparable. You gotta watch it at least once.
I can confirm. I haven't finished the whole thing, but I have been telling Romeo that I don't want to watch it because the title is silly. And then I actually watched an episode and it was so down to earth. It was so cute.
Have you seen
While
it,
still
Fujin?
having like,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say while still having fantastical elements. I like that. Like the idea of ogres being regular people that have problems. I
Mm.
like it.
Oh yeah, the goblins. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, the goblins.
Yeah, yeah, no. I think that the way that he interacts with the goblins and starts just like fixing things in almost like a Dragon Quest builders kind of way, like you just go around helping people out. That's how the rest of the show goes. Um, kind of, but it's a
Oh, by the
good. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I was just laughing because Miku said she also hates the title.
Don't boost Miku. You know, the title I agree is kind of dumb. Let me be honest.
Just light novels for you.
You said it's what?
Just light novels for you.
Light novels? Oh, okay. Which it also could just be like a translation thing. I'm not sure if it flows better in Japanese. That may be where it's
Kind
lost.
of. It's a bit shorter in Japanese, but that's just because of like the way it's rendered as a sentence.
Well, no, no. I mean, like for example, in context, right? There's some things that don't sound crazy or sound more common. Like in English, saying that time I got reincarnated as a slime does sound like a really wordy, dumbass title. But length doesn't make something stupid. Like the name of an attack, super ultra mega fighting bomber Raccoon's, signature attack is like really cool in our language as well. I just wonder if it flows better for like a Japanese person hearing that. They'd be like, "Oh, no, this is fine." What do you think as our Japanese expert?
Well, I mean, again, I think it does sound a little bit better in Japanese, but like not significantly. It still sounds a little bit iffy in Japanese.
Okay, okay. So even there it's all right. Well, the only reason I got into this show, I'm going to be honest, is because in 2022 I don't know what happened, but the conversation of who could or could not kick Goku's ass came up, and I saw like back to back videos
Of
about how
course it did.
yeah Rimuru can take Goku with both of his eyes closed. He'd suck him dry. His meat would be bones. And I was like, what the fuck is this Rimuru motherfucker? So I started with Rimuru, then I ended up watching that time I got reincarnated as a slime. I was expecting like a hardcore battle anime and expecting to roll my eyes and another like weeb god who ends up being very, very plain and flat. And I ended up finding a really cool show that stands on its own merits. Like I will watch Dragon Ball or that time I got reincarnated as a slime equally. Like they are equally good to me. So Goku, you might lose that one, Loki.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be a bit negative here. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, bring it on, bring it on.
This is your I think this is your first lukewarm take hearing you. I'm sorry.
Lukewarm tea. You might have a fever then.
Goddamn. Okay, the thing when I because I read Slime before the anime came out, so
Hmm.
I read the manga, and it was like I kind of I enjoyed it the premise because it's like I like the idea of like it's an isekai, but instead of just being like some guy that becomes like a human or like super powerful or has like a secret hidden skill, he's
Hmm.
just a slime. Um, and I like the bit where it's like he has to like discover like unlock all of the like ability to see like through senses and stuff,
Hmm.
and like like
Hmm.
he has to earn like his skills and stuff. Um, and then there was the bit with the dragon. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like I can kind of see how this be an ass pull later, but it's like it's an interesting way of implementing it. And then we get to the goblin arc, and it's like, okay, this is still cool. I like the fact that he's like befriended the goblins. Um, and then I kind of got a little bit iffy with it, where like every arc was just like he would show up to a new place, there would be like a generic problem, and he'd be like, "I'm the only good person here. I'm going to solve the problem," and then he solves it, and then the entire population of that area joins his side, and he just
Mm.
like goes around like picking up collections of races like Pokemon until he just like suddenly has like 3 or 4 races just hanging out with him, and then he just turns into like a person eventually, and it's like this is supposed to be every time I reincarnate as a slime, not the time I reincarnate as a human entity. And then the less said about Milan Nava, the better. Let's not talk about that character.
You're insane, Fujin. Okay, so off the top, three things that I find really interesting about your critique: the idea of him collecting races or making friends with the people that he finds, I think is incredibly natural. In most cases, when we're talking about the politics of the world, everything is on like a thin, tenuous, like the world could shift at any point in time. And so because he is here and he does have these particular skills that could destabilize entire nations, but he's just a dude who's, trying to chill and help as many people as possible, befriending him and not to give spoilers, but befriending him instead of going to war with him is addressed. Like we get to see what happens in that scenario and why it becomes so interesting to maintain these, again, beneficial relationships across different countries, across different races, and ultimately he's acting as a nexus to kind of undo a lot of the unrest in the world, which is a concept we've seen in many different other anime. Like if you are you I'm assuming you've seen all of Naruto or like are caught up with the whole of Naruto.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So Sasuke's final solution is to become like the darkness that unites the world, and it
yeah.
has
Let's.
some merit to it, but like the way that it's implemented in Naruto is like a trash way, in my opinion. I think that that's one of
It,
the
it, it
most,
was very cringe. It
yes,
was it was very cringe.
very cringe, right? I mean, he believes it, he fights for it, that's cool, but ultimately, I don't think that being the ultimate evil is going to unite anyone until you die, or like up until the point that you die. Rimuru is like the opposite of that, to where he's uniting the
He was
world.
Aaron before he was Aaron, guys.
Yeah, he was Aaron before he was Aaron. Yes, exactly. Uh, but Rimuru, on the other hand, is uniting the world not through like love or hope because he's not this overly generous or overly forgiving individual. He comes across as like a businessman, right? Pragmatic. You can see his background from when he was alive as a human, influencing his decision making. But it, to me, represents one of my desires, which is to see actual people working out solutions who don't have all of these ulterior motives clouding their judgment, or when they do have those, that we actually get to see them and engage with them. So when you say he's like collecting races, he collects those races because he actually doesn't have a stake in this world. So he has the ability to go in and help them, hear them out, and create these advantageous and beneficial relationships. I don't question them at all. If it was an ass pull, if it's just like, oh, he's so hot or he's so sexy or he's so this, then I'd get upset. But he's literally a slime. Everyone that meets him is like, oh, fuck this guy. He's a low class monster. I would never be caught dead with the slime, only to come around for logical reasons. So big disagree.
I
It
definitely agree. I definitely agree. It's not unearned. Like I like the fact that it's like he has to work for it,
mhm,
but I don't like the the suddenness of just like because obviously like the two things I take issue with are like one, are you seriously telling me he's the only guy that ever comes up with these solutions? Like I get that like he's in a unique position in this world. Like he's a slime that has like the consciousness of a
mhm.
relatively intelligent human being. But like some of the solutions are like, bro, is there really no other like decent human being in 100 miles that could have come up with the same thing? Um, and then also just like at the end of each arc, like pretty much without exception, just like every single member of that like tribe or race is like, yes, I fully support this slime that we met like 2 days ago. And he just like all of a sudden there's like 20 new people with him, and it's like, okay.
Hmm. If it's not your aesthetic, if it's not your taste, I can understand that. I do think that the fact that he is a human with the abilities and connections with monsters isn't like it's not addressed in the show. Many of the things that he's able to do, he can do because he can organize monsters and human technology together, which is something that in this world would be taboo based on, the
Oh
church.
no,
So,
I definitely agree, and I think if the same premise was executed just with lower numbers, I think it'd be fine. I
mhm,
think it's just the quantity of people that join him each time is a bit weird. Like if he like met like maybe like if he like allied with like a few goblins at the beginning and like a few ogres later on, that would make sense because like he's like gradually building up this ally base. But it's just this sort of thing of like he'll just show up and then like all of a sudden he'll have allied himself with like 20 people simultaneously, and it's like my guy's like jumping up the ranks pretty damn quickly.
so it sounds like we went from Romeo has a lukewarm take to now I just agree with the quantity of allyship, meaning that your take is
No,
lukewarm
look,
and I have the high ground. Is that what you're hearing, Venice?
so I mean, okay, okay.
Hey, I'm not in this fight, okay? I'm just a spectator.
Oh my goodness,
No,
yeah.
like I never had issue with the premise of Slime. I think the premise is fine, and I think the story is fine. I just think the way it is executed in certain ways, like there's certain approaches to delivering that premise that I don't agree with.
We'll table it for now. I think this would be a good one to actually, maybe do a book club on or review because I think
Oh
it's
my god.
dripping with plenty of interesting concepts, even to like compare to real life conflicts. So, um, we'll say it's a stalemate for now, Fujin. I stand by it. I think it's one of the best out there. But you can hold your opinion on the pacing because that's what it seems like. Like you wish it was paced a little bit more slowly. I don't think that that's a weakness of the show. Cool. Since you have so much to say, Fujin, you're actually up
Oh no.
next.
Okay. I'm still debating what to go with next, to be honest. I got like because I've listed more than three that I've been like picking from to sort of make sure I don't have any clashes with any ones that people have already said. But I think we've steered pretty clear
And very so none of you had Dandadan?
so far.
No, I didn't have Dandadan.
That's
Well,
wild.
I made sure not to pick it because I don't think it'd be on your list.
Yeah, I just didn't choose it.
So if I didn't
But
choose it, it wouldn't have gotten chosen. You all are crazy.
okay, well,
Well, I trusted that you would choose it, Remy, and you
Oh,
did so.
okay. Okay, okay. I'll take that. Yeah, count on me.
Okay. So the next decision is interesting one, but I'm gonna have to go with I mean, it's in my top three anime of all time, so I feel like it's a necessary thing for me to speak about. So my third pick is Fooly Cooly.
Fooly Cooly. Oh, man.
well, I've never seen that.
Yes.
What?
He's a legacy. He's an old head. Anime old head take out here.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, what? It's peak. What else do I say? Well, there is more I can say.
All right, make your case. No, I actually haven't seen Fooly Cooly, so you won't get a fight
Okay.
from me.
Oh,
But people that I know who like Fooly Cooly, I do not like them generally. I've only seen one person that I like who likes Fooly Cooly.
Well, is that me or?
Well, I have to see if you actually like Fooly Cooly. So make your case.
Okay. I do. I like Fooly Cooly is I would say on occasion, depending on the context, I would say it's my favorite anime of all time.
Oh wow, okay.
Wow.
But it's hard to make that case because it stands on a different ground from different anime because it's only an OVA, it's only 6 episodes, so it lacks certain things that other anime might have in if it has more episodes. Like the world building is quite slim, the plot is relatively short, but the advantage of Fooly Cooly is it sets out the goals of the series from the very beginning. Like it basically says this is a small scale character focused series, and we're here to follow the character development of these 3 characters in particular, with the occasional 2 extras on the edge just to sort of build up the character base. And each episode is essentially sort of dedicated to a particular sort of mini character arc that then all converge simultaneously into this overall
Mm,
theme. So I think the show is so good because there's no wasted time. Because it knows it only has 6 episodes to work with. It uses that
okay.
each sort of scene serves either that particular episode's plot or the overarching theme. I can't genuinely think of a single scene that doesn't serve to do something, which is what I really appreciate about it.
Hmm.
And all of it's fantastically done. The style is fantastic. The presentation is fantastic. The music is fantastic. The animation is fantastic. Like, and it's one of those things where it doesn't. The content is fantastic already, but it's one of those things where you realize more and more on rewatches because there's so much of it because of the shortness of the series that it's not expressed verbally in any way. A lot of it is thematic and visual that you only pick up on as you go through and as you realize more about the characters and more about because there's so much
Mm.
stuff that isn't said out loud. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of those ones where even though it's short, there's definitely a benefit to rewatching because there's
Tons of
more things you'll
rewatchability.
pick up on and more layers that we'll find.
Fooly Cooly is one that's been on my list for a while to pick up. When I said that I didn't like people that liked Fooly Cooly, uh, it's got a very how to put this. At least for the, I was in anime club in high school, so I must admit that there were people who were like all in on anime. Like all you do is watch anime. There's no extracurriculars, no homework, no conversations because that gets in the way of anime. And I had an argument with somebody about anime that I like because at the time I was really enjoying Sword Art Online when it first dropped. And it's not like that's my first anime. I don't want you all to think that I'm like new to this shit, okay? But they just could not believe that I was watching SAO and kept using Fooly Cooly as like a bludgeon to be like. So I've been wanting to watch it, but I can't stop thinking about that fucking neck beard.
Oh, I get that.
So there's
Well,
no
the
no no.
another issue with
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, another issue I have with Fully Fully fans, and this even extends to the Fully Fully production team, is that there's 2 kinds of people who watch Fully Fully. There's one kind of fan who actually like watches it and goes, okay, there's more to this. I'm gonna let this settle. I'm gonna appreciate that there's more below the surface. And obviously because a lot of it isn't delivered to you
Explicitly.
immediately, some
Oh,
people will watch Really Coolly and go, oh, that's haha, funny, wacky, weird, show about robots
hmm,
and guitars and stuff.
that's what I've heard.
Isn't
Yeah.
aren't Japan crazy? That but when people say that about Fooly Cooly, it kind of annoys me because it literally signposts to me that they haven't bothered to look any further than that. They just saw a ridiculous like you know off the wall show and went oh hi, aren't those Japanese people, they sure are the darndest. And it's okay, this that's not the takeaway you should be having, but okay. And that's basically what they ran with when they made the sequel series for Fooly Cooly, which in my mind do not exist. Um, because I don't
I'm
know if
gonna
you know the
start with the
context here,
sequel
but
series.
basically Fooly Cooly became very popular on Adult Swim in the early 2000s
Mm,
for good reason, because the English dub is fantastic. They do that cast do a brilliant job. Because they got the Japanese production company essentially did a vetting process to say are they good, and then I've listened to the audio commentaries and stuff, and they said yes, they agree. Carrie Walgren does a brilliant job as Haruko. So yeah, I can understand why the dub took off so well. But Adult Swim obviously looked at that and went, "Wow, these people sure do like Fooly Cooly," and Fooly Cooly is not that popular in the West, as you probably all know. Sorry, it's not popular in Japan. Sorry, but it is popular in the West.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
So Adult Swim commissioned multiple sequel series or like continuations. Some of them aren't sequels. It's confusing. But Adult Swim obviously just looked at it and went, "Oh, Fooly Cooly's whole thing is, wacky." And they get some of the plot points and character stuff in there, but it feels like someone's little brother trying to copy their older brother. Like it just doesn't live up to it in any way because they don't have any of the original creatives behind it working on it. They just sort of had someone look at like a vague blueprint of what Fooly Cooly is, and then they tried to sort of translate that. And they've made like 4 more Fooly Cooly series, which is 4 more than there needed to be.
So then I'm thinking that we have to watch them all. I think we have to. I think we have to watch them all as a group
I,
and put
I
ourselves
gave
through
the
it.
first 2 a try. Progressive and alternative, they have their merits, that's for sure, but they do fall flat. Progressive especially really falls flat. Alternative, if you take it as if you look at it with as being like a completely separate entity, it has its kind of, it can be good at times, but it's just, I don't know, it handles itself very weirdly. I think my main issue with them is that it focuses on the wrong. They both, in their own different ways, focus on the wrong parts of the story. Like they take away the takeaways that they have, are bits that I think that they shouldn't have focused on if they were going to make other Fooly Cooly series. And I haven't even watched the most recent 2 because I can't put
Just
myself
no
through that.
faith whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, original Fooly Cooly is fantastic, and that's all you need. You can just leave it at that because the point is it's supposed to be watched on its own. It's not intended to be watched with a sequel.
Okay. Well, Venice, I know you have tons of opinions, so go ahead and fight Fujin on this really quick. I'll give you the floor.
I have never seen Fooly Cooly, but I like the name of the show, so that's enough for me to try it out.
Yeah, that's all you like is the name. That's why it's trash, bro. Nothing
Yeah,
else is
well,
good about Fooly Cooly
they
but the
actually
No,
name.
but wait, but I looked it up and I do like the aesthetics of the characters. So I feel like
oh yeah, it's
yeah.
fantastic. Because they get a couple of different because obviously it's made by Gainax, so they get a couple of different Gainax animators to work on a few of the episodes. So yeah, Imaishi does one of the episodes. Trying to remember who else does it. Obviously the director Kazuya Tsurumaki. He's just the general director, but he does a couple of episodes too. Yoshiyuka Sadamoto, the artist for Evangelion, does a couple of episodes as well.
Okay. Well, sick, sick. If
Yeah,
if we end up watching Fooly Cooly, I've been thinking about having an anime to base the podcast aesthetic off of. It's one that I kind of be interested in, but again, I'd have to get to know the series first. But we'll table it for now. Definitely come back to it at a later date. Only if we commit to the sequel series, though. All right, Venice.
no, Romeo, don't do this to me again, please.
You're up next, Venice.
Okay. Um, okay, for my last one, um, I have Anohana.
Anohana.
Yes, it's the it's one of the first animes that I watched that really got me into it. So it might be more of like my personal relationship to the show,
Mm.
but I was bawling when I watched this. It's it very much is
Never be
just
balling.
very nostalgic. What?
The never nibba be ballin'.
But it's very nostalgic. Menma, the main one of the main characters, she's great, and just it's about friendship,
Mhm.
and they go through the loss of their friend, and they kind of go through grief, but as teenagers, because their friend reappears. for them, and they try to grant her wish so she could pass through the other side.
Mm.
And yeah, it's like if you are looking for a good cry, that's a show to watch, and it makes you feel good afterwards. At least for me, when I watched it, it made me appreciate like the people I have around, as cringe as that sounds. But
Yeah, it's
I
cringe to
love
love
that
your
show.
friends.
What?
It's cringe to love your friends. Yeah, that's the most
Yeah, it's
cringe.
so cringe. It's yeah, it's not very edgy of me, but yeah, I don't know if I don't think you've seen a Romeo, but I don't know if you've seen a Fujin slash agree with me.
Definitely, yes.
But
I've definitely seen Anohana.
Okay, wait, let me pause you
Did
there
you
because I have a
watch the
question.
10 year?
I have a question before you both go and give
Yes,
any more context. I haven't seen Anohana. Anohana versus Angel Beats. Which one is better?
I would say Anohana personally,
yeah,
That's
because like okay,
fucking
Angel, okay,
insane.
this is coming from someone that loves Angel Beats,
I love Angel Beats
but I think
too.
Angel Beats. How do I describe it? Like Angel Beats approaches it from a different angle. Like Anohana presents itself as an emotional drama literally from like the very beginning. Like you know what you're getting into. And it like this. I have the occasional issue with how Anohana approaches things, but overall the story is really good. The characters are really good. It does the drama really well. It sets up its emotional moments really well. Some of those scenes are like burned into my brain. Um,
So,
Angel Beats, I
okay,
still really like it, but Angel Beats is like the emotional stuff only really comes in the last arc. A lot of it is like sort of the
in the
characters
last
goof
arc.
off and mess around.
Wow. Okay. I do want to point out in chat,
No,
Faith Bloom. No, no, sorry. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just really interesting to say. Faith Bloom in the chat says Angel Beats easy. Angel Beats is way better. That is star for context. But continue, Fuji.
So okay, in terms of like enjoyability as an anime overall, I'd say they're about on par. I think there's probably more about Angel Beats that I enjoy than Anohana, but I think when it comes to being like the emotionally dramatic elements specifically, I think Anohana does better. Is what I'm saying.
All right, Ben, make your case.
Um, I I don't know. I do think Anohana is better. I agree that their enjoyability is the same. But I think Anohana just touches more on like interpersonal relationships and adolescence as a whole. Uh, More than Angel Beats, and maybe I'm misremembering Angel Beats because it's been a while. But for me, I just feel like I connected more with Anohana.
Hmm. Okay. So I'll have to watch Anohana just to like double back, to do the second drive by, double tap this argument. I don't think it's really an argument. Both of you are saying that they're like enjoyable. You like both of them, but it seems like you prioritize the relationship between characters. There's like a lot of history there, and so there's more important drama, right? Like it's not like a group of people coming together and making the most of a situation. It says a lot more about like your relationships as a whole. My only thing that I'm not really hearing, and maybe you're trying not to spoil, but because Angel Beats is kind of a dissection of childhood trauma and like not having the ability to grow up, those goofy elements when they're together just being kids, that is like an emotional beat. I feel like if you, not even, I mean, for me, my brothers and sisters, like growing up, they were kind of pseudo like my kids. I thought a lot about them, when I was doing everything and trying to like preserve certain elements of our childhood. So when you're watching Angel Beats and you see them just being kids and you learn about their backstories, that's supposed to be like a punch in the gut, right? As a parent, you're supposed to be like afraid or fearful that they'll never get those moments that they're here, trying to scrape it together amongst the NPCs with people that they've never met instead of being able to do it in their own lives that were all, lost. So until I hear anything or see anything that kind of compares to like those stakes that recolor the entire series on rewatch, I'm probably gonna pick Angel Beats because I think there's very few things, very few narratives I've seen that are as good at representing the subtle, unspoken tragedy of, like, potential being lost. Um, but yeah just wanted to throw that comparison out there since I don't know.
I definitely agree with you on the rewatch note because like there's a reason why I own Angel Beats on DVD and don't own Anohana on DVD. It's because I find more purpose to rewatching Angel Beats. Like with Anohana, like what like there's only so much you can really cry over the moment you already know it's gonna come up, you know. Whereas in Angel Beats, like each time you go through it, there's like a different character you can focus on and different
Mhm,
like sort of like what did they go through in the show and like what like how did that affect their approach to the ending? Like I feel like as an ensemble cast, the Angel Beats has a nicer approach with it. But then also on the other side of that, in Angel Beats they kind of like shoo out the clowns in the second half of the show, where like some of the characters they clearly didn't bother to develop, they just kind of get rid of. Like TK, whose just whole joke is I speak English randomly, like just
mhm,
disappears in the end, and it's like, okay, I guess
mhm.
he's not a character then.
Okay.
Which obviously isn't a thing in Anohana because the benefit to Anohana is that it has this group of five characters, and that is the focus of the show. Like every character gets equal
Mhm,
development up until the end.
Mm,
Obviously, Jinta gets a tiny bit more because he's the main character, but everyone else is part of this whole. They're all developed, and they all get to see it through to the end. Whereas the Angel Beast crew, like maybe only like five or six characters of the initial like 10 or so make it to the end with any actual emotional weight. A lot of them are just sort of shoot out before the ending because they're like, oh well, we forgot to write this character in time for the ending. Oh well, they're gone now, I guess. And it's like, which is I can understand why because like obviously there's certain characters that with the amount of content that there is to work with, you can't really just force an emotional ending onto them. Like you can't really make an emotional case for TK. You can headcanon one probably
well,
people
let me
have,
jump in really quick
but with the
here.
content in the show,
Just really quick on that note, I remember getting into an argument about Euripi not being as central to the ending or not having as close of a relationship with Otonashi and that being a weakness of the show. I think one of the things that Angel Beats actually does really well is it does centralize its point of view character, which is Otonashi. And if you're thinking about this premise of like people who perish or people who spoilers ahead for Angel Beats, but people who perish before they've had the chance to like do anything in life or meet their potential, right? They meet these tragic ends. There's going to be a lot of randoms there who are going through their own stakes, right? Everything is as simple as I forget what her name is, the pink haired one who wanted to do the suplex. Do you
oh
remember?
yeah, is it Yuri? I can't
I think
remember.
yeah, Yui. I was like, I think it's close to
The
Yuri.
yeah,
But like they all have different levels of stakes between their dreams and also like how tragic they were. Like not everyone had to have the same level of like tragic backstory. And so the fact that the characters weren't all fleshed out in the same way or that it wasn't like constructed around we're only going to look at the characters who have these hard-hitting stories added a lot of is the word verisimilitude? It made it seem believable to me, right? Like as Otonashi, he's not going to be able to connect with every single person there, right? Your gripes about Rimuru uniting all of the races or collecting all the Pokemon, I think, are kind of addressed by this, and that he's not.
oh my god, it's Rimuru.
But he's not the solution to everyone there. They all kind of reach their own nirvana, so to say. But when they're together, when they're there, you see Otonashi's point of view is that TK is just a guy who speaks English and he has no real affinity or connection to that. But like
Oh
Matsushita and TK would have obviously had their own relationship burgeoning there. So I like it.
yeah,
I think that that adds a little bit of realism to the story that makes it again much more rewatchable. You get to be curious, you get to theorize, and ultimately it seems like a real place that could exist where people will pass through and pass on and then other people will come in, pass through, pass on.
I just like I get what you mean, and but I just it would have been nice to see more of those
Okay.
like because they're not even calling them background characters is a stretch because they're not even background characters. Like a
Yeah.
lot of them appear like every episode up until they disappear, and yet we still don't know that much about them. Like there's moments where we get like little like sort of like nods. It's like oh maybe we'll learn more about this character, and then we kind of don't, and it's like if you're not going to do anything with them, then why have them here that often? Like it feels like they're doing half measures, and when it's
Really?
like either you go all the way with the character or you give more time to a character that is more important. It feels weird to sort of like tease them as a main character and then not make them a main character just feels a bit weird.
So this is gonna be a philosophy difference because I think that for world building sake, like if you have a job and you go to your office and you have your work bestie or your work husband or whatever, there are gonna be other people working in that office that will have impacts, right? You're gonna see them every day. They're gonna be part of your life story,
Oh
but not
no,
necessarily driving forces. And I never felt like I was wanting for more from the main characters. Like Angel Beats didn't waste time.
I
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I agree with you, but that would be under the circumstance that they weren't part of like the main team. But like when you establish like these characters have like united under the same goal, it would be nice to see like why all of these characters are here and have connected and why they want to achieve this thing. Like
Hmm.
I can understand if they were just like genuinely just hanging out at the school and being like, okay, like I'm dead and I'm at the dead person's school. You know, that's just fine. Okay, fine, I can accept them. They're just there. But like when they make a statement of joining this group with an intent, and that group has the same intent as a main character that has development, I kind of want to know why is this other person who's not got development also in the same group as them? You know.
I'll pass it to Venice to see if she has any final notes to like resolve this debate. But I do want to say that with Otanashi's journey, he was kind of indoctrinated into the group forcefully. So in that regard, if you're not doing anything else, and unlike everybody else, Otanashi is a like fully matured adult. He has like an adult brain, and he's actually lived like a life. So his personality is going to be much more grounded in realism. So again, I never had a question with that, never had a problem. But Venice, do you have any notes to kind of, you know, consolidate the boys or get us on the same side? Because this is a fight right now, Fujin. We're fighting.
I could see validity in both arguments. But like for me, I don't think that I need to have um quote unquote side characters to have full on like why are they here moments as long as they feel like real enough for me to believe that they're all under the same goal, if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
I don't need the backstory. As long as like in the moments that they're there, they feel meaningful and they contribute. So I don't know where that leaves us, but yeah.
No, there's never any need to like change your opinion. The thing is, Fujin, you have had some consistent takes on this one, and that's why I think
Yep.
it's a philosophy thing with how you like storytelling to be done.
Mhm.
But it's very interesting. Let me ask you this: are your One Piece opinions also like? Do you like One Piece? Because you seem to be in favor of expanding the world and characters in the same way that show does. But I don't know.
Well, I have. How do I how do I describe it? Like it depends on how it's done because like it can be like you can have a small yet strong cast
Hmm.
have weaknesses, and you can have a cast with very many characters be well developed. It just depends on how you go about it, how you organize it, how you lay it out, how a character gets a moment, when you choose to give that character a moment, how that moment impacts the plot and their character development. And obviously, then you also have to take in the scope of the creation into account. Like, do we have enough room to give all these characters space? If so, do we move characters forward or back? Things like that. Like, there's so much to factor in. So, like, I'd say my approach is consistent, but it also is dependent on like what I believe is the approach of the media that I'm looking at.
Okay. Okay. That's very interesting.
Like,
Um,
I'm not saying that the lack of development takes away from Angel Beats. Again, I still really like Angel Beats.
mhm.
I just think I find myself occasionally saying like, "Oh, I wish I'd known more about this character," or "I wish this character had done
Okay.
more in the lead up to the ending," or "I wish this character had been in the ending." You know, like
Yeah, and I
there's
can
just
agree
like
with that.
occasion where like Angel Beats will give us little breadcrumbs of like, "Oh, like this character has a moment, this character has a moment," and it's like I think this purely just comes from me as a classic TK fan. Like,
You're a TK. I'm a
I
Matsushita the
just wish
fifth fan, so that
more.
I 100% agree with you. Again, if I think about it from that, from Matsushita, because the judo guy, I also studied a bit of judo. My dad was in it, and he's just such a chill dude. When he like loses weight on the mountain, I'm like, oh, this is my guy. I want to know why he's here. But to me, those types of things are like strengths. It creates excitement and buzz
Mhm.
around the show, as opposed to it being a criticism or critique, and like how you would compare the two. Because I thought originally you were saying that because the cast isn't fleshed out, that you couldn't put it at the same level as Anohana, but maybe I was misunderstanding.
No, I'm just saying that Anohana has a like it goes in with the approach of these are the five main characters, we will develop all of them.
Okay.
Whereas Angel Beats' approach is these are the five main characters plus these other five main characters that we won't develop on top of them.
Okay. So that's just a personal preference thing, but
Yeah,
you,
it's just
yeah, yeah,
preference.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, sick. Well, sorry to make the Anohana segment about Angel Beats. I was just curious, but I think it was a pretty
Yeah, goddamn Romeo,
good
hijacking the
vehicle.
conversation right
No,
there.
it's a good vehicle to talk about Anohana, I think, especially for somebody who hasn't watched it. I thought it was successful, but is it okay if I get in here with my last one, and then we're actually going to change the structure for the other two categories? Um, because obviously
Oh
we
my
can
god.
yap for 30 minutes on one show if I let us.
Yeah, yeah, Romeo being like worried about, oh no, we can't talk about one show for 10 minutes. That's not possible.
Nah, I
Yeah,
didn't
true.
I didn't say that. All right, I just wanted to throw it out there because let me be honest, Fujin, you have a degree in yapology as a doctorate myself. All right,
Look,
I didn't know.
when it specifically regards to the mastery of anime in particular, yes, that would
Yes.
be
Yeah, I mean, I knew that you were again the god of wind and anime. I just had to be sure that you could. Yeah, if we were not here, you would still be talking about Steins Gate right now. So,
yeah, probably, to be honest with you, you're not even wrong.
so Fujin's solo podcast coming out in about 3 weeks.
Well,
But
no,
Not sponsored.
I can't do that to you. As you've seen from
not
my solo streams,
sponsored.
Romeo, I fall apart pretty quickly.
No, we'll work on it. If you can tap into it, man, I really enjoy it. This has been awesome so
I need
far.
someone to ground me.
But let me go ahead and get. So here's the way we're going to change it. I'm going to do my last good. We'll keep it with the same structure, and then for the bad and the hear me out, we're just going to go one round around. Each say out the name of our choice, and then we'll give like
uh
a 5 or 10 minute timer to talk about any shows in particular. Okay,
okay.
and then we can
Sure,
always
sounds
come
good.
back. But I think that'll be a good way to make it through everything. And also for chat, Faith Bloom, please use the chat that way. We're not going to be responding directly to chat that often. It's going to be a bit different than like my streams, solo streams, or Fujin solo streams. We want to make sure to get the anime conversation through, especially when we have more structured things like, oh, we are doing the book club. We watched an episode of the anime, want to talk about it. But this is for conversation. So please fill up the chat. It's going to help the podcast to survive. Thank you for being here. All right. So for my last good anime, I have Vinland Saga. Um, I did try to keep my choices to relatively modern anime, while I do have my old head takes. I think these are all good anime to like get people into watching more anime. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, has like a nice cozy feel. Dandadan has like great pacing. It also has a lot of like what I would consider more traditional Japanese theming and sensibilities. Like this is the kind of show I would have expected to see like during the Ninja Scroll days, low key, or Fist of the North Star days, and just with like a much more modern aesthetic. Vinland Saga, on the other hand, is one that captures an aesthetic that I think is not super common. So, like, if you don't really like anime, but you do find yourself liking like wartime dramas, or like the hero's journey to avenge your father, I am Inigo Montoya. This is like a very cool spin on that classic tale, while not having a lot of the anime garbage that turns people off that's associated with, kawaii Disney, like all that shit, right? So no nonsense. I think the characters are really engaging. The plot's super cool. The combat, the way that it gets kind of visceral, low key, is really nice and refreshing. If you like Game of Thrones, give Vinland Saga a try. It's toned down, but you'll really enjoy it. And ultimately, Thorfinn's heel turn as a character is exactly the kind of thing that I'd like a lot of toxic men and boys to be able to digest and chew on. Like there's a lot of elements of him reflecting on his masculinity, reflecting on his culture to come to a conclusion of like who he wants to be based on what's good for the people in his life. So very beautiful story. I would rate it up there among the best anime right now.
I haven't
I
seen it.
can't argue. Pretty accurate.
All right, 6. So we'll be moving on to the bad anime. Vinland Saga is the only one that had 0
Yeah, hey,
disagreements.
whoa.
He
I was gonna okay. I can just all I can do is elaborate on what you said, Romeo. There's
Yeah.
literally nothing else. I mean, like it just okay. It get okay. The first thing I probably want to say about it, just specifically about why it's good, is just I think it gets the grittiness just right
Mhm.
because it doesn't make you like. It's not like how do I describe it? Like it's not just like utter despair. It's not just like watching bad things happen, end of the scene. It's like, well, how can I have faith in this world if things just keep going wrong all the time?
Mhm.
Like it has these moments where like characters aren't just constantly evil. Like like
Mhm.
Ashalad is like a properly developed human being. Like
Yeah.
he has his darkness and he has
My
his light,
god, he's so cool.
and then Thorfinn has to learn to accept that in people as well. He has to realize that like just because this man is technically a murderer doesn't make him necessarily a bad person. Yes, he's a liar and a schemer, but he's also a guy with a life,
Mhm.
um, and with goals and aspirations, um, and then pretty much every character is there for that purpose. Basically the whole point, the whole to sort of water down what I took away from Vinland Saga is that the world can be cruel, but people can choose to not be.
Mm. Snaps, 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 snaps.
Fuck it.
And I think that sort of plays through the whole story, really. Like, there's so many situations where people will do bad things, but there are so many situations where people can choose to not do bad things. And a lot of Thorfinn is him being exposed to that. Like, one of the scenes I remember the most, I will say, spoiler warning for people who haven't seen Vinland Saga, but there's a scene where he goes to England and
Let me
he
stop you
is
really quick. I just
found
want to make
by an
this.
English
Wait, wait, wait,
family.
wait, wait. Pause, 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 pause. I just want to make this really big because Vinland
Okay,
Saga is
pausing.
one of those ones that you should watch it without spoilers. So please, if you have not watched Vinland Saga, either go ahead and mute, turn off this stream, go check it out. I'm gonna hand
What
it back
about
over
me?
to
What
you.
do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, yeah. Go downstairs, get a drink of water.
Wait, wait.
I'll take my
We're
headphones off.
actually
I'll
getting
take
rid
my
of
headphones
Venice
off.
right now.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Fujin.
Okay, and we're gonna make it short because I feel bad. But there's a scene where young Thorfinn is found by the English family, and he's like looked after by the mum. And this whole
Mm,
time he has this sort of like sense of like of dread, but he's also like got the sense of like, wow, I'm being looked after unconditionally by these people that I've been like, led to believe like will have no other will to me except my death. And obviously then when the Vikings eventually arrive and raise their village and they die, like he has to face the fact of like these people may be nice, but at the end of the day, like he like he has to choose it. He's choosing his own survival, and the people that he's with aren't necessarily all good either. Like just because his
yeah.
father was nice and his
Yeah.
family
No.
was nice,
He has to
doesn't
hold that
mean that
L.
all the Vikings. Yeah, doesn't mean that all the Vikings are good people, and also doesn't mean that all the English people are nice people either. Because he runs into bad English people later. So like again,
Right.
it's all
And
about. There's no such thing as someone who's born bad. Their circumstances affect everyone.
Venice, are you back? Venice, you can come back.
Okay, okay, I'm back.
All right. But just as on that note, I do think from the masculinity argument that I was making earlier, the fact that he has to kind of choose between that gray morality and his quest is one of my favorite things, and it obviously comes up throughout the series when he's, thinking about his life or regarding if it was worth it, etc. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting and harrowing moment, and you're like, oh no, is this going to be like a major turn for the series? And ultimately, it's not. Like it stacks up, and that's gonna happen. Like there are gonna be times when you drop the ball, or you have to come with like the
Oh,
brutality of the world, and it like life just keeps going on. So I thought that was wild.
Yeah, but good show.
Okay, do you have anything on it, Venice?
nope.
Damn. Well, this was my bid to try to get you to watch it, but it's all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do like war stories. I think it's just we didn't start it together, and then I saw you watch it. I'm like, well, if he's that far ahead, maybe I won't watch it.
Also, the second opening, can we all agree, is the best one?
The second yes, yes. We can all agree on that, including Venice.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. Including Venice, yeah.
No, but I think it's one that you should actually watch by yourself. Then, like low key, I know we watch a lot of anime together. We'll continue to watch anime together, but I also, especially with the podcast, one of the things that I think is going to be super important is like independently coming up with our own takes and exploring them. And even if we have overlap, that'll be like great content to discuss on the podcast, but also just people. If you arrive to the same conclusion, you may have come there for different reasons, which is why it's still good to explore the same media. But regardless,
Yeah.
Vinland Saga be peak. Get you some if you can.
It'd be pretty epic.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we move on, I'm just gonna put no. We'll do the whole thing. I'll put a poll in chat. Yeah. Let me do that on who has the best list.
What kind of poll?
The best list of good anime. Obviously, you would have to have watched like the full thing, but I'll do a recap.
True.
We can just say what our three were, and if you come in after we've explained why we like them all or like discussed them, then I guess you'll just vote without context. But who had the best list of good anime? It got Romeo, Vin, Fujin. My three were Dandadan, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and Vinland Saga. Fujin, your three were?
Mine were in order as Mob Psycho 100, Steins Gate, and Fooly Cooly.
And Vin, you had?
Mine was Anohana, Erased, and What's a Koi Love is Hard for an Otaku.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be a good list. I'll leave it up. We don't expect anybody to vote, but it'd be cool. I think we'll start doing that every stream as things, grow. But let's go ahead and move on to the bad. So the way we'll do this is, again, we'll all go around and say our list, one item from our list, give like a 10-minute timer to talk about it, and then we'll move on to the second one. Okay.
All right.
All right. So let me pull up a timer.
Yeah. Well,
And
I don't think we need a timer
oh
necessarily. We
no,
can
no,
just go until we're.
no. The reason I'm going to do a timer is that the challenge is
Oh,
to
is this
probably,
limit like 10-minute limit?
yeah,
Okay,
10-minute
cool.
limit is it's going to be like a way to challenge us to talk about the ones that we're most passionate about. So after we say our list, each of us is gonna give like our take for the one that needs to be discussed the most. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Give me one moment. Okay. So I got the 10-minute timer up. We can always come back to it. But I'll start with my pick for bad. Okay.
Mhm.
So I have My Hero Academia. Okay.
Oh
Fujin?
damn, Romeo.
Fujin?
Really? You gonna do that? You
Yeah,
gonna do
My
that?
Hero. Yep. That My Hero is my pick for the bad. Go ahead, Fujin. You're up next.
Wait, am I doing my one or are we talking about your one?
No. We're all gonna give our pick. So number
Oh,
one
okay,
pick.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. The number one pick. Okay. Okay, I think I know which one I'm gonna do first. Um, oh, just make absolutely sure. Well, okay, no one's gonna question me on this one. Like, yeah, I'm not coming in with a controversial pick to start with at all.
All right. Let's see what you got. Come on.
What is it?
So it's In Another World with My Smartphone.
Oh, okay. You said End of the World with My Smartphone?
In Another World with My Smartphone.
Oh, that's the
In
isekai,
another
right?
world?
Yeah.
He's like my smartphone, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. And Venice, what do you have?
I got Seven Deadly Sins.
Seven Deadly Sin. God damn.
So real for that, Venice.
Yes.
No, I was not expecting that pull. All right. So we got My Hero
I mean,
Academia,
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad you said it.
Seven Deadly Sins, and In Another World with My Smartphone. Which one of those do you think needs to be discussed the most?
It sounds like
I think
My
My Hero
Hero.
Academia, not gonna lie.
Oh.
It's the most controversial pick. Like me and Venice are pretty, you know, like I think most people agree that the ones we've chosen are pretty bad. Whereas your one's pretty controversial, I would
What?
say.
My Hero is trash. Okay, let me start and make my case. My Hero is not actually
Oh
trash.
no.
The way that I picked my bad anime is that I don't really watch bad media. If I don't like something, I'm turning it off in 1 or 2 episodes. So, I have to think about the amount of time I invested in it versus the amount of reward I get out of it, and I genuinely do not believe that the first 4 seasons of My Hero Academia are worth the watch. Like, and I'll give you 3 major reasons. 1, Bakugo, Midoriya, and their relationship, for as much as people love to ship them, they love to say that like Bakugo gets better at the end or whatever. The amount of development devoted to his character and how much of a present thorn in my side, in Midoriya's side, and in everyone's side he is. Like there's at least 2 seasons where the entire plot revolves around the fact that he is a fuck up or they have to make special concessions for Bakugo so that shit doesn't go south. And I hate that it takes so long for him as a character to improve to where there's no way that his redemption or his heel turn is gonna be satisfying. Number 2, Midori is a character. I actually don't mind that he's a crybaby. I don't mind that he's like on the grow up to become competent. My main issue is that there's nobody who really advocates for him or protects him. Because I hate Bakugo and because he is like this angel flower child who is liked by everyone or loved by everyone, I guess. You would think that like somebody would really be pulling for him, but it seems like the entire story wants you to think, "Oh yeah, he's not cut out to be a hero." Like they trash and shit on this guy constantly. Even his friends are like, "Yeah, Loki, he's not it." But then they'll talk positively about him later, and I'm like, "Midoriya, you need some real fucking friends." This is so sad. This sucks ass. And then my final issue with My Hero. Even though the power system, the fights are great, the fan base may be up there with Rick and Morty in terms of like dick cheese, and I'm way smarter than I think, or I'm way smarter in my head than I am in real life. Like I the My Hero group reminds me of a lot of like what it was like going to anime conventions and then having the person in the corner yelling about Homestuck the entire time. So that's my case. I think it's not worth the investment. The series is only okay, but it's long as hell, and things don't actually get better. All right, timer started. You will both feel free to go ahead if you have any disagreements.
I'm just
That's the worry.
I think wait, let me go first, Fusion, because I have not seen this show. I have tried though,
Mm.
and I cannot stand Midoriya because because he's a crybaby, and it's the same. Like I have the same issue with Zenitsu on Demon Slayer. I
Mm.
just don't like those characters. And I don't feel invested in watching them develop. And so that's why I don't like it. And it sounds like from what Romeo said, if Bakugo is also another character where he's like, we have to pull him for his weight. I don't know. I
Well,
think that
no,
would
no, he's
aggravate me as
he's
well.
competent. He's just like so competent and so full of himself that his asshole is
Oh,
constantly open. Like you can smell Bakugo coming.
ooh. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. I think I would I think maybe the balance of those two characters would maybe pull me in, but Midoriya first 3 episodes I couldn't do it,
All
and
right,
that's my team.
all right, go ahead, Fujin. Let's hear what the anime professor has to say.
To dissect everything that's been said here. So obviously, I'm just going to say what I agree with most, which is yes, the fandom is awful. That is not even up for debate. It's probably one of the most the like especially like in sort of the period between like 2016 and today. It's like the consistently worst anime fandom, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just yeah, not pleasant. But looking at the content detached from that. Uh, so Well, okay, I guess I'm going to start with Deku because okay, controversially, I like Deku, but like
I like Deku.
specifically as a shonen protagonist.
Hmm?
No, but like but because of what Venice said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like I like Deku, but specifically as a shonen protagonist because like he's a unique approach to the sort of like the whole like like young guy you know enters new world. In this case, it's a new school, but like the implication is new world because of the whole power system and stuff.
Hmm.
And then he gradually becomes more and more powerful. But with Deku, he doesn't necessarily become more and more powerful. He if anything, it's an inverse curve.
Hmm.
He starts with all the power, but he can't use it, and his whole journey is gradually being able to use bits and pieces of it. And I actually really enjoyed watching Deku as a character because of the way that he approaches using those bits of power that he can use. Like with Deku, it's not a direct upward scale like it is in like Dragon Ball or like I say
Yeah.
even
Hmm.
One Piece is probably an example. Well, One Piece is less of an example, but still like it's still an example of like this upward progression of like power level, power level, power level. Whereas Deku is like he'll get to a stage and then he'll move sideways. He'll like find alternate approaches to using it in different situations, which will then affect and he'll usually learn those things from different parts of the plot. Like he learned to use like full cowling in a specific arc because of a specific reason, and
Hmm.
shoot style again. The shoot
Yeah.
style reason is kind of silly because it's like, oh, I've got legs, that's crazy. Which again, a bit silly. But the whole point is that like he's not just like got this one technique that he just gradually makes stronger, or like he doesn't just randomly obtain a new technique from thin air, or he isn't taught it by someone. He basically develops all of his techniques on his own, which I think is a real testament to like how a unique approach to that power leveling scale can be done. So I think that's one of the best things that My Hero Academia does
I
is
can
that
respect
approach
that.
to
Yeah. I,
Deku's character.
you're spitting so far.
Hmm.
Um, and then we come to Deku's interaction with the other characters. Like, I genuinely think that there's too many characters in Class 1A, and
Yes.
that comes down to my issue with shonen shows being set in schools is that they always feel the need to have all the class members be present, which again is sort of it's like a pick your poison sort of thing because it's like you want all the class to be there and you want all the class to get screen time, but then that obviously means that some class members aren't going to get enough screen time and some class members are going to be not very interesting. Like Sato, for example, whose whole thing is
Hmm.
he eats sugar and gets more
Sugar. Yep.
powerful. He is the most boring member in Class 1A. No one's going to put that up for doubt, I don't think. And then you have the converse problem of since you're trying to give time to so many of the other class members, it means it's going to take away from the ones you actually want to give time to. Um, like they spend so much time sort of trying to develop Deku and Bakugo and Todoroki as like the main three characters, but
Hmm.
then there'll be this bit where like sort of other random characters from Class 1A have to be present because they have to all show that they're as important to the class, and it's like I get your idea, and I was kind of okay with it with Class 1A. Like I can forgive that. Like that's the central class. But when they start having Class 1B in there as well, and it's like there's too much going on sometimes, man.
Yeah. Just to
uh,
add on really quick, character development, I didn't even touch it in my analysis. I think My Hero Academia overall is one of the weakest of like any big anime when it comes to character development, including for its main characters. Bakugo does get
I
most of my ire, but yeah, I'm with you on the number is too high. The attempts to develop those characters are not very good as well, and the characters that I like don't get enough screen time, like Tsuru or Atsui, Frog Girl. I forget her name.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's my uncontested favorite character in the series, and I can't tell you why
yeah,
because the
and
series
that's
never
it.
gives it. Go ahead.
Like so many characters get like one scene wonders, like where they like in season one where Tsuyu does that cool attack in the whirlpool
Mhm,
in the USJ. And it's like, and then we get like another cool scene from her for like 2 seasons, and it's like great. Like, can we like I don't know? It's just again, it's just too many spinning too many plates. I guess is an
mhm,
issue that My Hero Academia does suffer from because when My Hero Academia does focus in on a small group of characters, that's when it has some of the best arcs. Like like Stain and his whole
mhm.
thing with
Yep.
Deku and Todoroki and Ida is one of the best arcs because it only focuses on three characters' character development for a whole arc,
Only
and it
arc that's
is
8 out of 10 or higher.
and
And
that's what you want. Because again, Deku gets character development in that arc. Todoroki has one of his best moments of character development in an arc where he finally, like, again, I think Todoroki is one of the best written characters in the series, and he should have just had more of a presence throughout the story. And Ida again, like Ida had so much potential, but they just kind of drop him in
Mm-hmm.
the end of the series because they don't they say, oh well, just leave him, and it's like, okay, he's kind of set up to be a main character, but sure, whatever goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a lot. There's a lot of plate spinning that My Hero Academia tries to do because it sets itself up with too many characters too early, and then it obviously gets dug into the hole of like they feel like they need to pay these characters off, but then they just don't anyway. So it's sort of wasted effort for nothing.
Okay. So, is there anything you disagree with me on why I would put it on my list of bad anime? Because you haven't told me where you stand on it.
Um, well, I would. The thing is, with My Hero Academia, I wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say that it has a lot of things that it doesn't handle well. But I think the things that it does well, and even the things that it attempts to do well, are good enough to push it over into like decent to good anime territory.
Decent
Like,
to
yeah, yes, some of the parts of certain seasons, the plot lines aren't very good. Some of the villains also aren't very good. Um, but I think when there are those chunks of certain arcs, it can really shine in the when it has the right circumstances.
so,
So it has a lot of potential and has a lot of stuff going on, and I think the premise is carried strongly, even if all the things that are attached to the premise don't follow along with it. So basically, it's sort of like it's got this really strong core, but too much is attached to it, and it kind of drags it down a bit. So I say it. So yeah, it's not. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's bad. Basically, is what I'm saying.
all right. So here's a device that I want to use for this. Um, My Hero Academia has about 20 to 25 episodes a season. So season 4 is where I dropped My Hero, and that is about 100 episodes, right? I'm always going to use the One Piece
Yeah,
index because
the
I
One
think
Piece
the One Piece
index.
index, because the thing is, the same people that complain about, um, One Piece being too long will sit through, 6 or 7 seasons of My Hero Academia. Season 4 of One Piece is Alabasta. Like we are in Alabasta at that point. If you compared One Piece up to Alabasta, right? You get Orangetown, you get Baratier, you get Arlong Park, Logetown, you get all the stuff with Mr. Three, you get Whiskey P, like all of that compared to My Hero Academia, and the time investment is like the same. Actually, more time spent with um, in My Hero Academia by about 20 episodes. I think it puts into perspective how little value you're getting by comparison. I don't know if anybody here personally is willing to compare. Well, obviously, Venice, you haven't seen it, but in your opinion, up until what Overhaul, the fight with Overhaul, and a little bit after that, when they have to find Eri, I think the Nomu and Endeavor fight is the end of season 4. Could you compare that in quality to the first 75 episodes in One Piece?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm
Probably
asking
not.
Fujin.
Oh, okay.
That's a hard comparison to make.
For me, it's not. Like when I'm arguing that the pacing is bad or like the character pacing, my main complaint is that the character development is super slow in My Hero Academia, especially for Bakugo to spend 100
No,
episodes
I
being him.
definitely agree.
Okay. Like,
No, I agree that there's a lot of stuff. Again, that comes down to there being too much plate spinning. They try and
yeah.
do too much over a long time, so things don't come up till way later on. Like the whole like um what was it who's the traitor thing, like which they bring up in like season 1, like isn't
Oh,
paid off
yeah.
till like season 5.
Yeah, and it's like
Uh,
you have to wait all that time in order to get there. And it's such a common criticism of anime to say like the pacing was bad, the pacing was bad, the pacing was bad. I don't just hear it with One Piece, but because it's a pretty universally understood criticism that gets a lot of attention, gets a lot of play in anime communities, I personally look at My Hero Academia as one that's getting away with it for way too long. The only difference is that you get like these big, well animated fights that I guess tide people over to deal with 20 or 40 episodes of bullshit between them. But that's why I would say technically it's a bad
yeah,
anime
I mean
along
the
that
thing.
standard.
the thing I can forgive My Hero Academia for its big fights for is they're not just like big fights for the sake of big fights. I'd say in like 70% of cases they are actually like plot relevant and character relevant, especially in the first 3 seasons. They do kind of wane a bit later on. Where they just exist to be like, whoa, new characters, new power, which obviously doesn't help with Deku's whole later in the manga power system thing, which I have my own gripes with. But in the earlier seasons, that I can't think of like a main fight like where there's not some, it doesn't do something to like prove a point, which I do like in Shonen, where it's like it's not just like they're not just there to aura farm. Like this fight has been like built up to. The only aura farm fight I would say is in My Academia in the early seasons is just the All Might versus Nomu one, which again,
Yeah.
like I can see why it's necessary, but it is literally just like All Might being like, "Yo, look how powerful I still am," and then he beats up a guy. Like that's pretty much all it is.
It's necessary. I mean, fights are good. I just don't think you get your bang for your buck. But it seems like you think it's more mid to good. I think that it's mid to good
Yes,
if you
yes.
condensed it down. If you condensed it down and the
Oh no,
fluff was cut,
definitely.
it would still be mid to good. I'm arguing because it's not condensed down and you're getting mid to good over the course of like a year. That's bad. That is, you don't put in your order at the restaurant, wait 2 hours, and then have your steak be burned and go, oh no, this is
And
fine actually.
I definitely agree that applies to later seasons, like season 4 and season 5 are especially bad for this, where like only half of the season is really worth watching, and the other half is just like, okay, this sure is happening right now.
All right, our timer did go off about 4 minutes ago. Um,
Yeah, sounds about right.
no, no, all good. You were going in, so I didn't want to stop you. But do we want to touch Seven Deadly Sins? Did you want to give a rundown of like why you don't like it, Venice?
I mean, if I want to touch it, no, I'd rather not.
Downhill. I like so bad that I don't even remember why I stopped watching it. All I know is that okay, I watched it. I spent this much time on it. Then like slowly but surely, it got so bad, and the animation got bad, and I was like, okay, this is garbage.
Okay. You know about what season you stopped?
Maybe like two.
Okay.
I know I finished season one,
I
but
didn't
and it
watch it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it sucks because I do like some of the characters that aren't melodious, but um yeah, it just did not give what it was supposed to give.
It's annoying as heck. All right, so it's not giving. Fujin, where would you say the drop off point for Seven Deadly Sins is? And you can't pick episode one.
I'm not gonna say episode 1 because that seems unfair, but I'm just gonna say anywhere. It's like
uh,
because like there is, I can't even point to a specific moment in the story where it gets bad because the story is just consistently like nothing of consequence ever really happens.
mm.
Yeah,
Like
that.
the characters only ever feel that they're in danger when the plot forces them to fight each other,
Mhm,
and when they
mhm.
do that, it's really stupid because it's always some dumb reason where it's like I can't even think of any ones off the top of my head, but there's so many situations where like either a villain will like use a really like mundane plan to trick them to fight each other, or like all of a sudden one of the main characters will just feel like fighting Melodious for no particular reason apart from they want to call fight that episode. Um, but then when they ever fight like any actual villains, like the villains just remotely don't stand a chance because like every single member of the Seven Deadly Sins is so ridiculously overpowered that it's just a waste of time. Like the only thing that ever spares a villain from losing is like one of the main characters like doesn't kill them; they just let them run off, and then they'll come back again later in another episode and find them again. It's like, oh, this time I've got a slightly more powerful weapon, or like this time I know your weakness, and I'll beat you this time, and then they just lose again. It's like cool, thanks for that one. Um, and like again, it had a it's a shame because like the premise is quite interesting. Like the art style is quite nice. Every main character is very unique and has their own unique thing about them, like a unique sort of
Mhm.
like separate power system to them that works. and when they use that, it's interesting. Like I like seeing their power systems in action. The only problem is that the fights they're in don't make it worthwhile. Like when we get to see like Escanor go in his like sunlight mode, or like like Merlin use like the sloth powers or whatever, like or even just like King like doing like flying about with his little pillow and stuff like that. Like these things are cool in concept, but they're not cool in execution.
I do want to point out that this must be like the most hated show of all time because you all have been calling this motherfucker Melodious. His name is Meliodas. Like nobody got the main character. Even Fujin said, "Yeah, Melodious, that bastard can't stand."
Yeah, Meliodas. Yeah.
Meliodas, whatever.
No, it's all good. I'm just saying that was some elite levels of disrespect. Everybody is out here like, yeah, Seven Deadly Sins sucked. Melodious can suck a dick.
I can call him Midiodas, you know, if that makes it any better.
All right, let's jump on to the next round of bads. We did spend a little bit of time on this
Well,
one,
hold
but we
on a
saved
minute,
some
you
time.
completely skipped over my one.
Yeah, I don't think we need to discuss it. It's terrible. Did you have anything you want to say on it?
Well, yeah, it's really bad. I hate it. There we go.
There we go. No, the reason I was doing it like this is that if we had anything that we thought was like good to justify or defend a show, why the pick is there, we could go into them. But no, I think you hit the nail on the head. Yes, nothing needs to be said about my smartphone in another world or whatever. Did you have strong opinions about that, Venice? Do we need more smartphones in Isekai?
I can't imagine.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, good. So we all agree. Next round. All right, so for mine, I have. Oh, I'm gonna go last. Somebody else go.
Okay, I'll go. I have the Promise Neverland.
Okay, Venice, you better be saying just season 2. You better be saying just season 2.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. I was about to have you killed if you said season 1 was bad as well.
No, season 1 is fire. Like that could have been on the good and the bad list. Pretty good choice though.
Yeah.
All right, Fujin.
Oh, Sword Art Online.
Okay. And you know what's hilarious? Okay. I have High School of the Dead.
Oh wait, but that's a
Put down Romeo.
okay,
me and Romeo are gonna be fighting over this one.
Yeah, I gotta fight you for Sword Art, and you gotta fight me for High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead. That's a hear me out.
That's see.
That is a hear me out.
This is why I wanted to go last.
You've stolen it already.
This is why I wanted to go last.
My hear me out.
When I put this on my list of bad, I was like, I know this is one that's gonna go off. All right, it's bad. It's bad, and I have several reasons why. Hopefully none of the ones that you're thinking, but let's discuss which ones do we want to talk about first. I'm assuming High School of the Dead has to be on there. I actually don't want to fight you on SAO too much because I'm assuming I agree with you on a lot of its bad points, but I would put SAO as a hear me out. So we kind of got like the same thing going on here.
So what, we all agree.
We all agree with Promise Neverland, I think.
Yes, Promise Neverland season 2 in the garbage. It deviated from the manga, and you can tell the writing quality went way down.
But like it didn't just deviate from the manga. It deviated from the manga and then like proceeded to shoot itself in the foot with a machine gun.
Yeah, and it got Game of Thrones. I think is what ended up happening.
Yeah, true. It did.
The worst part is it diverted from the manga at the point where they would have had one of the best manga arcs, which is Goldie Pond.
Okay.
And then not only did they skip that arc, they also rushed to the ending, which is notoriously one of the worst parts of the manga. And then they made up their own ending, which is worse than the manga ending somehow. And then they just ended it with season 2. So they skipped the best arc, annihilated the pacing, rushed to the ending, which is already bad, and then made the ending worse, and then ended the series.
Yeah, like Promise Neverland season 2 could take the crown on this list of bad anime. I think having your smartphone in an isekai is much better than killing your own plot in the cradle.
You haven't watched Isekai Smartphone. Even that is worse than
No,
PRoMisE
no, no,
Neverland
no, because
season
there's
two.
there's no expectations, there's no potential. So when I choose my bads, I like to do a lot of meta-analysis.
Yeah,
Yeah, when we're talking about expectations,
I
if you
suppose that's
followed
fair.
up, what is it, PRoMisE Neverland season 1 with the having my smartphone in an isekai world where my dick is huge, then that would have been probably the only way that season 2 could have been worse, alright? That potential
I
got
think it would have been
fucking deleted.
hilarious.
Yeah, maybe people would have been like, "Oh, I like this change of pace. Now we don't have to worry about kids getting eaten. They all get phones and the world is better. Big cocks for everyone." Um, but we're all in agreement that that's trash, doesn't really need a whole lot of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just hop in on SAO first. Did you wanna go ahead and defend why you think it's bad?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I'll put my position
Alright,
down
go ahead.
first.
Put it down.
So so okay, so I'm gonna say this first and just make it clear. Minecraft is the best arc. This is there's no
Mhm, mhm.
doubting this. This is just fact. Um, like basically, so let me just sort of give a bit of context here. So I watched Sword Art Online first in about 2012, so a
Mhm,
long
same,
time ago now. And it basically became like my favorite anime pretty much straight away. Like the premise hooked
same.
me, the characters hooked me. I rewatched it about 3 or 4 times. I adored Sword Art Online very much. And then as I watched more anime and as I got older, the cracks sort of started showing a bit, you
Mhm.
know. And then obviously the more those cracks showed and the more I doubted it and the more I watched more of the sequels and went, okay, I'm not liking this as much. The more I just felt like betrayed by what could have been something really good, but ended up becoming something very mid.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and
And I think
argue on your side. Oh, sorry, it cut out. I didn't realize you were still talking. Please go.
no, I was just gonna say one last thing is that like I think like I say I go so far as to say the first 8 episodes of Sword Art Online are
Mhm.
very good. It's only when they get to sort of like the bit where Kirito first gets his dual wield skill and he has that scene on the bridge where all those guys trying to attack him and he just heals quicker than he can
Yeah,
take
yeah,
damage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's like that's the beginning of the downfall of Sword Art Online, in my opinion.
Really? Okay. I would say those no, I don't disagree with you. I actually think that Sword Art Online pioneered, one of the biggest things you can criticize about solo leveling, and it's hype over substance. Sword Art Online was very good with, like, scheduling these hype moments that in context don't really have a lot of weight behind them later on, and it commits the additional sin of trying to have that structure work in other arcs, where the previous arc was, like, life and death, and the future arcs are, like, respawn or don't. So, I
Yeah, that's another issue I have very much so is where they just have Kirito be like, I'm gonna do the cool epic thing, and it's like, but like the stakes aren't there anymore. Like, who cares?
mhm. So I will say I'm actually gonna agree with you on like Sword Art Online's weaknesses, and but there is a meta commentary that could be cool in that because Kirito was in a situation where he like life was on the line, like technically he died, right? Like he should be dead. That you could argue PTSD is playing a role in how he approaches gaming, and the fact that that does overlap with like real world instances of people dying in other contexts or people's lives being in danger or like their livelihoods, etc. Like the show doesn't really make that commentary or that connection, and I wish it did. It would help, but no. Ultimately, I don't disagree with you for Sword Art Online being on the bad list. I think the Hear Me Out comes in where if you don't take Sword Art Online seriously, like if you don't get in pace with the show and you just look at it as like examples of like gaming and technology and like cool relationships that you can build in your own life, it can be a very enjoyable experience. But the second you let Sword Art Online pretend like it's anything more than just a bit of hype to get you through the day, then you're probably going to be a little jaded.
The problem I have with that though is that Sword Art Online does try to take itself seriously. Like there's some very emotional moments in season one, especially. There's some bits where like they generally set up like like especially in Minecraft again, which is also why Minecraft's the best arc because
Yeah.
they play around with a lot of like the whole like this the death is permanent sort of thing,
Yeah.
and like there's so many times where they push this whole take it seriously thing, but then they sort of try and take it back later on. It's like, oh no, never mind, guys, don't take it seriously. But then they obviously have the whole Shinon thing in season two with her with like the whole gun stuff, and it's like, do you want me to take this seriously or not? Like, you can't have both cakes and you can't
No,
eat both of them.
I
Like
think you can. I think you can. You can acknowledge that, like, Kirito is a kid who has had a interesting situation happen in his childhood. He's gonna take everything seriously while you just sit there and listen to his woes and watch him play through it, and you go, "Yeah, man, that sucks. Make sure you make it to school on time." That's be the adult when you're watching
but
Sword Art Online, and you will have a
I
much better time with it.
I think it's a detriment to the anime if the only way to enjoy it is to not take it seriously.
Well, it's a criticism. That's why I'm saying, like, it's bad. I agree, but I think that if
No,
you
I think it's a detriment to the anime. I don't think it's just a criticism.
But if you hear me out and just enjoy it, that's what I'm saying. Hear me out, bro. Just hear me out. Hear me
Yeah.
out. Hear me out. All right. If you just watch it and you're just an adult about it and you let the kids get all dramatic, bro, I loved her so much. Everything is woe without my baby. Like, just let all that play out in the background while you're cutting vegetables, meal prepping for the next day.
I don't
It'll
know
be a
about
good
that
time.
one.
Come on. Come on. Just,
I don't
that's,
know about that
I'm
one.
just saying. I'm just saying. Hear me out. If you're a gamer, hear me out.
Also, like another thing that really got me, that like really made it sour with me, was the whole like having an AI child thing, which is just
No,
really
hear me out,
weird.
bro. Hear me out.
Like what was going on there?
You're taking it
And
too
then like,
seriously.
and then they take Klein from season one, who's like a genuinely like a character with a lot of potential, and he just becomes like the funny man, butt of the jokes character for the forever. Like he's never given character development ever again,
Yeah,
and it's like, okay,
wait,
never mind, I
you
guess.
see, character development is what you would find in a good anime. This is a hear me out, so we're just here for one thing and one thing only, and that's Gamer,
We're
Kirito, and
it's
Asuna
all
sleeping
about
together
it's
that
all
one time.
about
Bad anime don't have anything going for them, which is why My Hero Academia is bad. Anyway, let's go. I think we're in agreement with this one. Um, but there is enough enjoyment to glean out of it, both for nostalgia's sake and because it is an interesting look at, like, you know, full dive gaming, right? Like how you could really immerse yourself in that and how the characters immerse themselves. I think that's perfectly fine. But in the same way that, like, as a gamer, you can't get too engrossed in your own games. Don't get too engrossed in Sword Art Online as a media form. It really does reflect that, at least in a realistic way. So, but we agree, it's bad. You can like it. On the other hand, I would argue that High School of the Dead is bad and you shouldn't like it.
But the boobs.
The boobs are great. In
this is this is where Venice speaks the truth right now for me. What are you gonna say in response to that?
so here's if you like the boobs in High School of the Dead, don't watch High School of the Dead. Look up boob gifs online. There's plenty. There may be even better
Oh,
boobs.
yeah, but that's not as fun as seeing a bullet fly through in between some good old yonkers.
I can
Okay,
I
like
can
the,
get you a
the
loop.
ridiculousness of the boob shots and like the fan service is what makes it a hear me out. Like nobody's watching that for the plot, but like, is it fun to watch?
The,
Yeah.
the, the irony is the irony is it does also have a plot, and it handles the whole like zombie survivor stuff pretty decently well. Like it has a my issue with it is it occasionally has the whole like classic like, ooh, like man's gonna solve the problem thing, and like there's the
Yeah,
Yeah.
generic
it
like villain
it
Yeah.
is an
thing.
ooga booga anime. It's
Um, but it does have some bits where like there are some bits where characters have some actual character development, and there are some bits where it does there is a story there. Admittedly, it is covered by a lot of things, uh, but there is some story there. Is it the best story in the world? No, not really.
No.
But is it a relatively satisfying story? I still say yes.
See, and that's where we're gonna disagree on this one. I think the story lives and dies on its characters every single time. There's no such thing as a good story featuring bad characters. If you can find an example, show me. In order to even get somebody to engage with the story, there has to be something not just relatable, but at least interesting. And because High School of the Dead commits the sin of having, in all honesty, not a single good character, It's a bad anime. First and foremost, our main character, he comes across as somebody who is a good character, but the writing and the way that it centralizes him as like this ooga booga guy, right? In between all of these titties, it goes for like a harem, but it's tackling very serious issues. Um, I think is a major weakness. The way that he like slaps the shit out of the annoying one who seems like she was designed specifically to show you that like it's okay to bitch slap a woman. She's gonna be hysterical. She's gonna be promiscuous. She's gonna be annoying. She's gonna be incompetent. Like that fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. All of his best moments are because the women characters are written to be as flat as paper. And so I can give him 0 points because this is
I
it
mean, in
screams.
certain respects, at least.
You said what?
In certain respects, at least.
No, even the best female character, which is what is Psycho? I forget what her name is. The one with the purple
You
hair.
said,
No, you
yeah,
missed
it's
the joke. You missed the joke.
Oh shit! Sorry, I was in. What was the joke? I missed it.
Because you said the
You
character,
said
the female
they were
characters
written to
are
be as flat
flat.
as paper.
Oh, flat. Oh, damn it! I did say flat as paper. Fuck, fuck. But like you talked about Rimuru acquiring all of these fucking races so easily. It's like, why is every woman vulnerable to him at some point in a way that they have no excuse to be? The zombie
Yeah, that is
apocalypse.
what. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that's not great. No, I
this.
don't. I like it. Just become a harem at the end. At the end of the day, which I can't. I can't even begin to deny.
Mhm. And so when you're talking about the plot or the plot kind of hinges on them surviving as a group in this zombie apocalypse. But like them being together and surviving is underpinned on the fact that like they're all being vulnerable to the main character or they're all relying on the main character. You even have kind of like a boys love thing going on by the pedo character, the guy who is good with
Oh
guns.
God, don't talk about that. I hate
Yes,
that
yeah. So
guy.
again, no matter how you slice it, every single character is problematic in some way, and not in a way that you can be like, "Oh man, they have their flaws," but no, like their flaws are the character. That's what it's putting on in front of you. The spectacle, the titties are meant to disguise the fact that you are watching smut. You're watching the source of every
Oh yeah, no.
neckbeard's fantasy.
Yeah, anyone that's watching it should have to unabashedly admit it. That's what they're watching for. Like you can't pretend that it's not there because it is.
I think you should. You know how like people will be like, "I'm not racist. I have a black friend." I think
Yeah.
if you watch High School of the Dead, you should be forced to take a test to prove that you're not sexist, a narcissist, a pedophile, or
I was
like
gonna
you
say,
got to go through the whole list.
yeah, I was gonna say this is a hear me out, but only for the non-misogynists.
Like if you are any of those things, it should be illegal for you to watch this anime. It is just going to enhance all of your worst character traits and make you feel like the main character while you engage in them. So yeah, High School of the Dead came out about the same time as Attack on Titan, and I remember watching Geeka talk about both of them and like how great it was to watch. And I had very good memories, fond memories of the show. But the second you're able to like analyze or think about anything regarding it, those cracks start to show even more strongly than SAO ever did. Like if SAO takes itself too seriously, this show doesn't take anything seriously enough.
It's true.
Uh, were you gonna try to defend the pedo show, or can I call it a bad anime?
No, what? Okay. I think. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Sorry, go
So
ahead.
I think to enjoy High School of the Dead, you have to take the same approach that you said someone has to take when watching SAO, which is
You said that was a detriment. You said it was a detriment. It made it a bad show.
and 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 I agree that's a detriment to High School of the Dead. But the thing about High School of the Dead is it never pretends to be anything else. Like, yes, it
Yeah,
has a story, but it's still a story full of ridiculousness and full of like overly
true.
sexualized everything. Whereas SEO never like it like obviously it plays up certain elements for the audience, but it always tries to play itself off as like a serious show with goofy elements on top.
I feel like because High School of the Dead, like I said, my main complaint is that it has nothing but bad characters. Every character is flawed in a way that's problematic, and the show never acknowledges that. That's the reason why I can't give it the benefit of the doubt. if you ever come to a point in your life where you've recognized all of these character traits and what they mean, like in the real world, and you're coming back to watch the show, trying to give it the SAO benefit of the doubt doesn't work because, unlike with SAO that doesn't take itself seriously, High School of the Dead is actively impacting folks you know. Like there are people that you've met in your life who watch High School of the Dead who are those types of people and make your life actively worse. And the second you have that realization, you can no longer just sit back and enjoy the show. Maybe that's a me thing, but I think that's a valid criticism on
Got
why
that.
it's actually even worse than SAO in many cases.
Wasn't it? Oh wait, I was not expecting the moral argument there.
No, I'm making a moral argument. That's I think morally it's a bad show.
Right, I can't argue with that.
But I mean, yeah,
Ready for the next round, everybody?
sure.
All right. Let's go ahead and yeah, we were about 4 minutes over on this one. If we're gonna get to hear me outs, we gotta speed run. So we'll only choose one out of this list of
Okay.
three to talk about. So I'll go first. I have Parasite the Maxim.
Oh, what,
Really? I thought
okay,
you
right.
said
We're talking
something
about that one.
Oh my
We're talking
God.
Romeo. We're not
I thought you
okay.
said that was
Okay,
good.
the
I thought we
conversation
came to do
stops
hot
here.
takes.
We
I thought we came
we
to
don't
do hot
select
takes.
any. We don't we don't select any of the shows to talk about apart from that one. That requires discussion.
God damn. Okay, what do you all have?
I I I forfeit my choice just so we can talk about that one.
Brother. Venice, what do you have, please?
I have something we don't even need to talk about if you've ever seen it. It's Pet Girl of Sakurasu.
Pet Girl of Sakura.
Okay, that one also requires discussion, but I think Parasite's slightly more pressing.
All right. All right. Look, Parasite the Maxim. I think we should table it. I know, Fujin. I know you really want to talk about it. Let's give Venice a chance to have a hot
Romeo,
take,
you
please. Well,
how dare you say a 9 out of 10 anime is bad? I'm going to
9 out of 10 anime
I can't
with
just sit
a
here and say that.
2 out of 10 ending. Get that shit out of here. Look, look. I haven't seen the anime that Venice is talking about. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Get in on that. If there's time, I'll give you what you're asking for.
Romeo, why have you done this to me?
We were supposed to
I
pick
can't believe
hot
I have to
takes.
hear
It's content. And I believe it. Yeah, it's a bad anime.
this. Romeo, Romeo, that take is so hot that I'm currently stood on the surface of the sun.
Oh, damn. Okay, we got 2 votes on the poll for a good anime right now. Fujin's at
Okay,
1. I'm at 1.
for
We need a tiebreaker.
for just for clarity, my choice was going to be Wonder Egg Priority, which I don't think either of you have seen, so it's kind of
No, no,
pointless for me to make a
I
choice for
haven't, I
anyway.
haven't seen it. All right, I'm setting the timer. Venice, I need you to go in on your anime. Tell us why it's bad. Fujin will take some time to defeat it. If he saves time, I'll talk about Parasite the Maxim.
Okay, this is one of the first anime I watched. It was just terrible. Like I feel like it didn't have a plot. I didn't know what was going on. The characters were like so nothing. Honestly, I watched it because my ex-boyfriend was like, "I want to watch this," and we were still in the early phase of the relationship, so I had to be like, "Yeah, this is really like good." Like, yeah, good. No, I don't like it. What do you like about it, Fujin?
Okay, I just think it's a nice like early 2010s like slightly silly, slightly comedic like school show. Like it's from that era that I'm particularly very nostalgic about. Like I enjoy a lot of shows like that where it's just like there's bits and pieces of character development, but like it's more of like an ensemble kind of like sitcom-ish thing. Like there's the occasional drama, which is mostly just sort of like establish what the characters' relationships are, or there'll be like an episode which introduces a new character, and there'll be drama because it's like, oh, this character's personality doesn't mesh with this character's, and then they sort
Mm-hmm.
out their differences, or like there'll be like a cliffhanger moment or like a character that we've known all along, like will actually act in a different way. But I wouldn't say it's like it's particularly, it's not a challenging show. It's just like it's a comfortably written show where like it doesn't expect a lot from you, but it also isn't like awful. It just has like a middle of the ground delivery where the characters are all comfortable and they have their own sort of roles, and then it's just sort of like, yeah, like it's sort of, it's like a sort of, let's say like it's like a 100-piece puzzle. Like, you know, it's not like a 1,000-piece puzzle, but it's not like a 50-piece puzzle. Like, it's in the middle. It does enough, and it's satisfying when you take away what it does. But yeah, that's basically what my reaction is. Like, it's a comfortable show, and it gives you what it goes in with, but doesn't leave you wanting, like, it doesn't leave you with like an expectation like this could be like far more, because it is what it is.
What it's sounding like, based on hearing your recollection of the show, Fujin, or like your recounting of the show, and Venice's recollection of the experience of watching it. Obviously, you were pretty early on in your anime journey, and when you said it was giving nothing, like it's not giving, it sounds like with it being a comfortable show, that it didn't pull you in, and you felt like you were wasting your time because you weren't really into anime at the time to begin with. Would you agree with that?
Well, I guess if, but I've watched like sitcom style animes that I like better. I think it's a matter of it didn't charm me, and maybe that's what
Yeah,
you're
I think that's
saying.
it,
I
because
was not.
it charmed me. I think is like
Okay.
I liked the characters. Like the whole premise is that like there's this like dorm room at the school where all the weirdos go, and then the main character is the one guy who's like this normal guy who's like, due to like school like allocation error, has been sent to the weirdo dorm, and he has to like make friends with all the weirdos at risk of like losing his social standing at the school,
What's the name
basically.
of it again? Because
And
Miku's
then
asking which one
it's
we're
called
yapping about.
the the, the pet girl of Sakura. So
The Pet Girl of Sakura. So okay, I continue.
yeah, and it's basically like the normal guy. He's very much just sort of like, he's the like the everyman guy. Basically, is his whole thing is that he's like, he's the token normal guy from the normal school dorms who's been sent to the weird people's dorm, and his whole thing is like he has to try and connect with all these weird people, and then over the stage of the series, he like learns to connect with them and about who they are, and like he learns to overcome the stigma of like everyone else from the school hating them for being different, and he sort of like becomes like the grounding, like the sort of the, not like the teacher, but he becomes like the one person that each of the people in the dorm can eventually turn to,
The
and it goes
Nexus,
from
yeah.
being a dorm of like, yeah, and it goes from being a dorm of people who all shut off from each other to a dorm who actually like come together as a family and all communicate with each other, because he's like the one that connects them all together. And I think that's all the show sets out to do, and it does that quite well.
Well, I may have
Well,
to
when
get.
you put it like that, it doesn't sound that bad, but I feel it.
Okay.
I did not.
And it has like the stereotypical, like, you know, the summer episode and like the winter episode. Like, it's basically just like it's a play-by-play school drama slash comedy show, except it does it with a group of misfits in their own like little like house, and they have to learn to come to like each other through different ups and downs. And that's, yeah, that's what I enjoyed about it pretty much.
Well, that's our timer, so it's time to move on. No, we still got 4 minutes. I was fucking with you.
Well, I think I don't know. Just, if Venice has anything else to say, she can. But I think I pretty much, yeah.
No, we can move on
Okay, you all
if we
ready to
could
do
just
the hear me
do.
outs?
Oh my god, this is gonna be interesting.
For the hear me outs.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah, we'll do a dedicated Parasite the Maxim conversation. Or we can always come back if
Oh,
we have
Romeo,
time.
Romeo.
All right. So hear me out. We'll do the
I think we
exact.
have a whole separate episode for that one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind rewatching it. Just a brief overview. When I choose my bads, because I don't watch bad media, like you're not gonna catch me putting anything on there like my dog dicks around all day and does nothing. Like yeah, that might be a bad anime, but it's not something I would ever watch.
You know what? I would watch anime. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that actually sounded good as I was talking. I was like, damn, that one might be nice. But it's gonna be anime that invite you in to watch them. Like, I think something that's bad in and of itself, or like so bad it's good. The reason they can be so bad that they're good is like you said, they don't pretend to be more, right? It's just something that somebody made. You can take it or leave it. I can't see that as being bad. I think by definition, it's neutral. It's mid. It's not great, but when something is bad, think about like a bad guy. Like if I try to describe a bad person, they're usually somebody that's done something to you, right? A mid person or a not very good person isn't gonna be that important. So for Parasite, the Maxim, like, it started off so well. I love the
Right.
intro. I love the premise, and what I really wanted to see from that show, and it seemed like what it was starting to hint at, was that there was going to be a society of people who had to coexist with these basically alien invaders, right? At first, they were trying to do a hostile takeover. That seems like it's not gonna work. And the way that it ends is as if there was some arms race between humanity and the parasites, which is not really what the show was showing at all, right? It was very like covert.
I'm,
Oh,
uh,
go ahead.
we haven't got. There's so many things I want to say already. We haven't got time.
Uh, but
Just
uh,
from that. Oh,
up to
oh,
the ending, I was very dissatisfied with how shallow things ended off in the anime. I was wanting more Ajin
Premier.
season one,
Oh.
and I feel like I did not get that. So we'll do a whole episode on it if you really want, because I'd love to watch it with Venice again. It was
Oh,
very fun to
oh,
watch,
Romeo.
but I don't think it's I think it's bad. Yeah. All right, hear me out
Oh,
time. I'll Parasite the Maxim is gonna be my new JJK just to give Fujin a seizure.
no, no, please, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's almost good, but it fails so hard that it's bad.
Romeo, please, just say your,
Oh, oh,
say your
my
hear
here.
me
Okay,
out,
my
please.
hear me
Spare
out
me.
is Seto no Hanayome. My bride is a mermaid. Have you all seen it?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it. I can't. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, yeah, it's a bit cringy, but it's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying it's a hear me out. I think it's a little cringy. I watched it as a child. It still holds up. It's funny, lighthearted. It's about a kid who falls in the ocean, almost drowns. He gets saved by a mermaid. That's against mermaid law, and now they have to get married or they'll all be executed. So from there, hilarity ensues. It's
Yeah,
like the quintessential Saturday morning cartoon.
it's very much in the same vein as Chobits, where it's like, slightly goofy, normal high school guy gets into a silly, fantastical situation with a fantastical girl, and then has to navigate life.
I feel like it would
I
be
think it's
tough
very
to.
much a premise that like. er, hmm?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's very much a premise that was like set up with Urusei Yatsura back in like the 70s, and has always been a popular premise. I think it's only within the last like 2 decades really that the animes like that have fallen off.
Right,
But if
right.
you go back like even just like 10 or so years ago, that like there's always been like one of those like high school guy meets mystical slash fantastical slash alien girl, and then hilarity ensues. And I think some of those are good, some of those are bad, but there's all like again, they always do what they set out to do. They just have the silly, wacky hijinks of girl who doesn't understand human world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. It's
No.
enjoyable.
Well, as an anime old head, I mean, you're an anime old head. I'm more of like an anime unk. And Venice, you're obviously new generation.
Mate,
Oh, Venice?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was saying like you're more like new gen when it comes to anime, right?
Oh, I don't disagree.
Okay. So the reason I'm putting it as a hear me out, I think it's timeless. I think it's a good encapsulation of the trope. While I've seen other anime like it, this is the one that I would ask people to hear me out on, and it's very like budget friendly, very small cost to enter. It's not like Da 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 where you have to have the whole living room clear. You can just enjoy it. Little cringe from time to time. Great show.
I'm actually going to the Seto Inland Sea in November, so
Mm. Wow, that's super exciting. Bring back a mermaid for
I'm
me,
going. I'm
please.
going to the place that
For me and Venice. Sorry.
yeah, of course.
You can have a mermaid. I
Orange.
can have a mermaid.
Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna need 2 mermaids, side of fries. I don't like ketchup though, so but somebody else can go next on their
So
hear me
fair.
out.
My hear
Okay,
me out. One of
Venice,
my
do you want to go next, or should I go next?
yeah, I can go. One of my hear me outs is Bunny Girl Senpai.
Mm, yeah, what is it? Oh, we did
Oh,
the
okay.
stream.
I have some personal gripes with this one, but go. I'll hear you
Okay,
out first.
interesting. Um, I I enjoy, I know some of the plot and the explanations don't make sense, but to be honest, I ship Sakuta and my hardcore, and I like the I guess the finesse in there and how they got together and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So for me, I like the romance aspect of it. I do think the adolescence syndrome, like the themes that each character goes through, is interesting, and I'm not entirely compelled by like the explanations and all that stuff. But as like a chill anime to watch, I think it's cool.
I guess before you go in, Fujin, I'll get in there and say that I agree. I didn't watch the last season. I think it is good in, like, the same way as, oh, shoot. No, it's better than Please Teacher. It's much better than Please Teacher. Um,
Is that even a comparison?
no, 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 I was about to say it's got Please Teacher feel, but it's cozy while still having, like, thriller elements in it. Again,
Yeah,
it's one of those ones that you're not gonna take too seriously, but what I found really interesting is, like, their relationship is high key mature. Like, there's no element that, like, they're going to play it up for drama after the 1st or 2nd season. Like, they're locked in, they're good. Now, I didn't watch the
yeah,
last season. I think her sister is involved in that one, so maybe
yep.
that's where things have room for cringe. But, no, it seems like a very nice progression through making these new relationships, finding the love of your life through fantastical means, and
Mhm.
cozily exploring that world from that lens. So, I think it's solid. What do you got, Future?
I'm gonna preface this argument with I don't think Bunny Girl Senpai is bad per se. Yeah, I have issues with certain arcs, like the blonde girl arc. I forget her name, but that's one of the worst ones in season one.
Is that the one where, like, the time keeps resetting, like Groundhog Day, because she's trying to get with him?
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah,
you've already just
yeah.
established the main romantic pair, and then you introduce this girl who's like, I'm gonna date him, and it's like I now immediately don't care because we've already established the main romance. So, and she's also just annoying as well, which doesn't help. Um,
That's true. I agree with you on that.
but
I disagree with you both on
but,
that
be,
one.
but beyond
I think it's the
but
quintessential
beyond
arc
that,
of the show. Go
uh,
ahead.
the main issue I have with Bunny Girl Senpai is it's basically just like a beat for beat, like not copy, but like it basically just like follows like the Monogatari season one beats just like exactly the same, and that's what annoyed me when watching it because it's like, damn, this sure is basically the same as Monogatari but slightly worse.
So I haven't seen that one. What's that one about?
So basically, like to describe Monogatari in using the point of comparison to Bunny Girl Senpai is that it has so Bunny Girl Senpai is about like uh um like a sort of a down on his luck main character who encounters like a girl being affected by a spiritual phenomenon that's making her like that's putting her through like something due to her own trauma, and he helps her solve that, and then they get together, and along the way he meets a bunch of other girls who and then through that means he becomes more like outgoing and friendly because he learns to put aside his own issues
Mhm.
to help them solve theirs. um I'm currently describing Monogatari, by the way, and not Bunny Girl Senpai.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
is that a I don't when you say, like, it's worse.
Because okay, the thing, okay, this is more of a personal preference kind of thing. So I can understand people who watch Bunny Girl Senpai, they might enjoy certain things about Bunny Girl Senpai more than Monogatari. What I like about Monogatari is that the afflictions that the girls suffer from the lines blurred between reality and fantasy.
Mhm.
It's towed a lot better. Like in obviously in in Bunny Girl Senpai, it's a lot more cut and dry. They diagnose the whole like adolescent syndrome thing pretty much straight up. Whereas in Monogatari, like they refer to the spirits as having done stuff, but the spirits are basically always like metaphors for like trauma and stuff that they don't really sort of like. The
Okay.
trauma is present,
Yeah, the
and then there's
finesse.
characters that talk about like they talk about like like there's this spirit that's caused this to happen, but it's always related to a real life emotional thing that manifests as that spirit, but they never like but so you can't quite tell when you're watching like are the spirits real or are they like is this some sort of thing that's affecting people's psychology to make them think they're real because of the trauma they've been through. And so it plays itself as more of like a supernatural horror series almost at times, based around that like emotional trauma and stuff. And I think that's a more interesting way of doing it rather than just like this slightly more sort of teenage approach that Bunny Girl Senpai takes, where it's like, oh, it's just like it's just growing up, it's just being a teenager, guys, and it's like, okay.
Okay. Okay. No, I think that's a solid critique. Um,
And again, I think that's purely from a comparison perspective. Like
yeah.
you can look at them separately and see where they have different strengths and flaws. Like Monogatari definitely does have some flaws, and Bunny Girl Senpai has its flaws. But I think just the fact that like like I like Bunny Girl Senpai, but it also annoys me in the fact that well, like looking at it as like a novel series, and it's also based on another novel series that came out about like 5 or 6 years beforehand that has a weirdly similar premise. It's like, was this guy like very heavily inspired by this previous novel series?
Hmm. So, I think on like a because I do like meta commentary, right? A lot of my opinions are shaped by like how art moves in or changes the world, so to say. I don't necessarily get upset by things having oh god, I gotta mention it again. By things having like overlap with other shows, especially established ones, unless it's like it's established and it's somehow doing it worse. With what you said about uh, like the finesse of presenting, you know, the spirits as a in-world supernatural explanation, but it still ties back to again like real world traumas, right? It gives you that element of I don't know. I guess finesse or proficiency with storytelling and preferring that. That to me doesn't seem like it would be a detriment in Bunny Girl Senpai, just that you would prefer one over the other. The similarities are
Yeah,
relatively well
I think it just
preserved, unlike with JJK, where like
it,
it bastardizes things. So
pretend.
that's why I'm just asking. Like, you're not saying that Bunny Girl Senpai
Yeah,
does it badly. You're just saying like it's not as
no,
good as the one that came before.
yeah, like it affected my watching experience because watching it and knowing that I'd watched something beforehand that was similar enough to say that I
Mm.
preferred what I'd watched before
Mhm, okay.
affected my experience watching Bunny Girl Senpai.
Okay.
Especially because like Monogatari's like visual presentation is like one of its like a huge uptake, and like Bunny Girl Senpai looks nice, but it's a relatively normally animated
Yes,
anime.
relatively samey.
Like it's not got much going for it visually. Like it's like it looks fine.
Okay. All right, Venice. Well, that's your hear me out. Fujin has his thoughts, but it
That was
sounds
my hear me
like
out.
you said what?
I said, yeah, that was my hear me out.
Yeah, it sounds like you wouldn't be against somebody recommending Bunny Girl Senpai as a hear me out. Fujin.
Yes, but I would just happen to recommend Monogatari first.
You'd be like, well, actually, if you're interested in
Yeah.
that.
So just don't bring it up when
Yeah,
Fuji's around.
if you like the exact same premise as that show, then watch this other show.
By the way, we're not sponsored by Netflix, even though Fujin's doing the other shows you may like in the middle of the podcast. But you know, it's just what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you still watching? You should be watching instead. No, but go ahead, Fujin. I think you are last on the hear me out round for this.
Yes, okay. So I'm I'm floundering a bit on what to go with because I want to go with something that you've probably seen. Otherwise it's not really a hear me out because I'll just be like, here's the show that I like that's a bit controversial, and you're like, I haven't watched it, and it's like, well,
I mean, hear me out. I think it's more so like
Um,
stuff to put on your list. So if you want to recommend something to us, that's also fine.
okay. Okay, well, I'll start with one that you probably watched, or maybe at least heard of, but I'm gonna say Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss.
Yes, Made in Abyss.
Made.
Made in a bit.
Miku, is Made in Abyss good? I'll let her shape
Oh
my
wait, but
opinion.
you guys haven't heard of it?
No.
Let me double check.
Don't know what to. Don't know what to,
Oh yeah, no, I know
oh,
this
okay,
one.
no, Miku's dropping some mid takes in chat. Never mind.
Your Hear Me Out is my second favorite anime.
Oh no, no, okay, Miku, I'm saying it to hear me out because I love Made in Abyss. It's one of my favorite anime as well. Um,
I've seen this
but the
online. I
reason it's
just
to
don't
hear
know
me out
anything
is because
about it.
there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. So that's why my hear me out is because there are some people who will give me some very weird looks for saying Made in Abyss is amazing, but it is. And I'm glad that Miku agrees with me. Even though she said that Darling in the Franxx is good, which I can't
I was
agree
about
with.
to say Miku on your side might be a detriment.
Yeah.
That might be a hear me never.
I'm definitely not hearing Miku out on that one. But I am hearing Miku out on Made in Abyss because you know. Yeah, Made in Abyss probably has some of the best fantasy world building you'll ever see. Um, the premise is fantastic. The character development is fantastic. The world is incredibly well put together. Like the way the characters and their backgrounds and like who they are interact with the world is one of my favorite parts of it. And how like it's just fantastic. Like I say, if you want a very well put together sort of dark fantasy, I would say Made in Abyss is like probably a go-to. Apart from there are certain things in it that are a little bit weird, but you know, if you're watching anime at that point, you know, there are things you can overlook.
But the art style is trash.
Okay, the art style, the point of the art style is that it's supposed to be like there's these cute, innocent children that are going into this very like, you know, dangerous place, and the art style is part of the contrast. Like it's this very like, you know, it's the picture it's the
Sorry,
picture of
Fujin.
innocence,
I was
and
just
yet
rage
you're
baiting
going. Hmm?
Miku back. I was rage baiting Miku back. I just had to wait until she
Damn
responded.
it.
No, no, no. I actually really like the art style. It's out of the anime we've talked about today. This is the one that I'm most interested in watching. So I can't even pretend. Parasite the Maxim. I was totally
Oh
serious. I
yeah,
was
no,
just joking about this one though.
yeah, definitely watch Made in Abyss. Yeah.
Sick. Okay. Well, I will add that
Okay,
one to my
that
list.
came across as less of a hear me out. I was expecting it to be, but you know, it works, I guess.
And yeah, I'm only because Miku's here. I think if anybody else was, I mean, Faith Bloom has never seen it, but also I think Faith Bloom, Star, you would also enjoy this art style over, like Bunny Girl Senpai. So it's probably not a hear me out for you either. Yeah, I think you just put some quality in chat and then said, "Oh, hear me out, boys."
Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking to Fujin about Made in Abyss. Like this one,
Oh,
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
what's the controversy? Because I've
No,
never
yeah.
seen anything bad about it.
is it for kids?
So the how do I breach this topic? So basically, the author has a certain uh,
Proclivity.
he's got some fetishes,
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
Um,
say.
Okay.
Yeah, that do
okay.
bleed over into the manga, especially less so the anime because it's a bit more censored, but there's still a bit of it. Yeah,
Compared to like Dandadan's obsession with suggested sexual violence and like saving right before we get there to where it's basically wasted, like it's just there for no reason. How much worse is this?
definitely worse because the characters involved are significantly younger.
Okay. Okay. So Made in Abyss. Yeah, you definitely should have started with that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
Again, like nothing like there's no like berserk stuff that happens. Like you know what I mean? Like there's nothing like
Yeah,
ooh. Oh,
Berserk is a
that.
go one.
so
There is nothing berserk like happens,
fuck
but
you.
there
Stop
is still
talking
like
about Berserk. The manga is my next hear me out, you piece of shit.
Okay, well, fine, we'll get to that.
How is that
But
a
yeah,
hear
but
me
there's
out?
It okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
We
I'm done. I'm
for
done.
for the same reason that Fujin is talking right now. Go ahead. He literally just said, like, "This is kids in situations." I mean, it's not Berserk, man. It's not Berserk. But so, obviously, it's a hear me out. We'll get there. Go ahead, Fujin.
No, but what I'm saying is like it's not kids in berserk situations. It's like kids in like still disturbing situations, but not. It doesn't ever like it doesn't cross the veil into like berserk situations.
Okay. Does it is it
Yeah, there's
Dandadan
still some.
situations?
It's on a scale of Dandadan to berserk. It's worse than Dandadan, but not as bad as berserk.
Okay. So yeah, that's
That's
definitely gonna be
doable.
well, for you, I think that that's definitely a hear me
Like
out.
there's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
one scene in particular in season one that I will warn you about that will potentially make you feel quite ill if you're watching it,
Not to be a weirdo and
depending
not
on
watch it for the
how good of a response you have to that kind of stuff. But hey ho.
hey ho. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I think that's honestly a quintessential hear me out. It's like there's a lot of quality here.
But
There's a lot of things the story does well, but there are some pitfalls, and here are those pitfalls. So no, very good choice. Very good choice.
okay,
I'm gonna
well we know what yours
unless
is now, Romeo. Do you want
yeah, I'm
to?
gonna go into Berserk now because you've already kind of popped it. I was gonna let somebody else go, but Berserk, the manga, is my personal vote for probably, even in its unfinished form, the best piece of media put to paper, period. Like
Oh
Casca's
damn! Holy
eyes
shit!
Casca's eyes alone, and the way that they're drawn, especially like later in the manga, are like my Sistine Chapel. I could stare at those panels all day. I think Berserk is a hear me out for multiple reasons, but the first one is that the anime adaptations, the movie adaptations, they're not very good. There's some quality there, but it doesn't really give you how detailed and how substantial a piece of art you're working with until you've read the manga. Like Kentaro Miura, God rest his soul, he fucking did the damn thing. I'm not one who's like animation is important. Like it has to be this, it has to be that. I think Berserk's is very important because it kind of shows you that what you're reading, while it's going to be gritty, it's going to be rough, it's coming in raw. It's also being handled with a level of care and patience that you can't find anywhere else. Like the dude didn't just write horrible shit happening to people willy nilly. He spent 36 hours on each panel drawing each line of the assault. Like that's to me blows
Mm.
my mind. And when you look at one, how good the characters are, two, how good the world building is, three, how good the action is, like all of it in its entirety, and you remind yourself that he spent so much time drawing it in great detail, I don't know, it elevates the experience of how good Berserk truly is. Like there's no throwaway line, no throwaway action, no throwaway atrocity. It all adds up to something great. So again, if you have heard of Berserk and you've heard people going crazy about it and you think like, oh, it's so grotesque or oh, it's overhyped, read the manga. Check it out. Really hear me out. It's probably like a peak in our relationship, low key, because Venice and I did it together. Like a year in, we would read a chapter and then come talk about it. So yeah, it can get you bitches too. No, Venice is yeah. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Venice. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Um, no, it's not hear me out for me. It's an absolute must. But I get what you mean. I get why it is.
Yeah, I have nothing to say either. Like, I just agree.
Okay.
What else am I gonna say?
I, I just think that the barrier of entry is pretty high. Like there are times you're gonna have to take a break, especially if that type of violence, specifically sexual violence, is something that you're uncomfortable with or something that you're not used to seeing. Berserk comes across as gratuitous in many, many ways, and even the eclipse and Griffith being like around in pop culture, the way that people talk about it would make you think that it's not as foundational of a story as it is. But like, I don't think anime would be anime if Berserk didn't Berserk. That's me. I would put it above One Piece, above anything else. It's the number one, the goat. Unequivocally good manga. Okay, it's a good manga, but also people don't read mangas anymore unless you're like an old head. So I put a manga on my Hear Me Out anime list.
Someone
That counts for something.
works in a shop that is actively wrong.
You said what, Fujin?
As someone who works in a bookshop, that's pretty wrong. A lot of people read manga still. Although although I will have to put an asterisk next to that, and being a lot of people read manga, asterisk, a lot of people read JJK.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's where I'm completely ignoring the fact that those people exist. Like JJK and Demon Slayer are dominating, and they're reading those so that they can get.
A lot of them exist.
Yeah. But they're not necessarily reading
It gets it.
classical mangas, so to say. And I think that if you've heard of Berserk as an anime, you
It
probably are
gets
turned
in
off.
the top 100 sales.
Go ahead.
And I was just gonna say that JJK gets in the top 100 sales pretty consistently, on like a weekly basis, I'd say.
Very, very sad. But if you don't mind all it
Just to rub it in.
does, then you qualify to enjoy Made in Abyss. Well, that's what I'm saying. Made in Abyss and
Yeah,
Berserk,
that's
I
a good
think,
point.
are very similar.
Miku's correct. If you can enjoy Berserk, you'll enjoy Main in Abyss.
Sorry. I was just defending the Hear Me Out, like why it's here in the Hear Me Out. I would have put it in the goods, but if you have to qualify Made in Abyss, I think you definitely have to qualify Berserk. You can't just be like, "Hey, everybody, this is Romeo's anime takes. You all should read the Berserk manga. Let me know how you feel about chapter 46. All right,
Whoa.
have a good one and good night." Like, no, you gotta put some trigger warnings on that shit.
Yeah, good point. Just don't mention horses. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, I think I would love to do like a Berserk retrospective on this channel or with this podcast at some point. It's literally my life goal. Whether I do that by myself or with you all, it would be awesome. But you know, just something to think about.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
What's
My
the
turn
wrap
or
up of Berserk?
Fuji's
Oh no,
turn?
it's Venice next, right? Yeah, it's Venice's turn, right?
Who has the hotter "Hear
Okay.
Me Out"? That we got to save that for last.
The hotter hear me out.
Yeah.
I think mine's okay.
I don't know what Venice has, so
I think mine's fine.
okay.
My last hear me out is Food Wars.
Oh. Come on, Fujin. Tell her how it's a bad anime. Do it.
It's not bad. It's just kind of like it's just silly.
Yeah. The silliness
Like
is what makes it funny to me.
I've never taken anything less seriously in my life than when I read Food Wars, because like they always try and have like the all like dramatic, like dramatic cooking competition. Is he gonna get through to the next round? And yet there's just like scenes of people like losing their clothes when looking at food, and it's like, or like he'll do like a ridiculous like his cooking method would be so ridiculous. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but like he'll like on the fly in the middle of the competition, he'll just be like trying to make a bowl of pasta, but he'll do like the most like complex scientific method to do it ever, and the judge is
No,
like,
it's
"Oh my god, I
so
can't believe
great.
he managed to cook it at like 35 degrees for like exactly 5 minutes." It's like what is going on? It's
He
just
kneaded the
like
dough with his
it's
index finger knuckles between 2 and 3 at 30
no,
degrees. And it's like, it's
it's
so great.
insane.
It's
It's
so
insane.
great.
It's insane. I can't handle it. It's just like what am I experiencing? Like if we're talking about shows that like are not built to be taken seriously, Food Wars is like the number one. Like you cannot take an ounce of this experience seriously.
No. Okay, there's a scene. It's when I forget. I want to say he's the one that took out Megumi, like the main girl, when they had the school competition where Hayama was in it, Soma was
Oh,
in
the
it.
main girl, Irina?
Is her name I thought her last name is Megumi, right? Or is it
Oh, the blue haired girl?
the
Yeah,
blue-haired
that's
girl? Yeah.
Irina.
Yeah, Megumi.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Irina.
So when she's in the competition, she's going against like the really gruff seafood guy, and it seems like it's a mismatch because he puts on his bandana, he turns into the fucking psycho, and she's like, "I'm just trying to make food for my mama," and it's great. But in that round, the judge is like, "This seafood boil is whatever," and BrO shoves that shit down her throat and is like, "You like that, don't you? Yeah, get you some. Now swallow this." And I was like, "Wow, I it's not Berserk, but I wasn't expecting them to do this in the middle of a food war." So yes, you can't take that one seriously. It's gonna hit you with some Uh, Not quite fetish stuff, but definitely like borderline BDSM. Everybody's getting it left and right. Food and fucking go hand in hand. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And the food they make do
They-
look good, so I mean, at least for
yeah, no, I
me.
agree. If you guys like Food Wars, I definitely I'm gonna send a link in the chat. Um, but Yakitate Japan is definitely worth a watch as well.
Okay. Okay. Sick.
Basically the premise is like, what if Food Wars is based entirely around bread and nothing else?
Mm. Okay.
Oh,
So getting paid. I like it.
And the main character is just like the main character. He's like his only motivation is to make the best bread in Japan, and the whole show is just like a really ridiculous like cooking show parody comedy where like he's just like he has like the hands with the perfect temperature to knead dough to make bread. And so like there'll be like baking competitions where like he'll be like, oh, like how did he make the perfect croissant? And it's like, oh, it's like got it like he like made all the layers come off simultaneously. It's like Food Wars but like times 100, and it's just insane. And he
That's
also
awesome.
he goes to like a there's a part in the anime where he goes to like a bread making boot camp, and the guy that runs the place is just a guy with an afro that owns a horse, and the horse is like a food gourmet where it only eats the tastiest food and refuses to eat anything else. And in order to finish the boot camp, he has to make the only bread that the horse will be willing to eat.
That's wild. I'm excited. I'm excited. We'll definitely check this out. And I think what I want to do for like our segments for anime is that we're gonna have Fujin assign like anime homework, like your anime professor, where we have to like watch a few episodes of an anime outside of the book club and then come back and report to him our thoughts, and he's gonna grade our takes. I think that would be really funny too.
that would be hilarious.
All right, sick. We got like 10 minutes left. So Fujin, you want to hit us with your hear me out?
Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen this one either, but Great Teacher Onizuka.
Great teacher Onizuka. Damn. And this is one that I also know. I have to look it up. I mean, maybe
But
haven't
I'm
seen
not.
it.
I have not seen this.
Okay, I was about to say, isn't it like Reagan from fucking Mob 100? Yeah,
He kind of is like him.
yeah.
He's a similar character,
I
but
get
so
those two
basically it's like
confused, but yes.
the whole premise is there's like an ex like thug like a
Hmm.
biker gang member who decides one day that he wants to become a school teacher. The reason he wants to become a school teacher is the reason why this is a hear me out, because he's like, I think he's like 20 by the time he becomes a teacher, but he basically just wants to hook up with high school girls.
Oh,
Oh,
anime's biggest predator. Great teacher
Yeah,
Onizuka.
yeah,
So Fujin, your
yeah.
hear me
So,
outs have a
but
theme.
the whole
No,
But
just kidding.
however, the thing is like yes, I was put off by that as well. But the thing is like the whole point of the show is like that's he's actually a lot more of an innocent and honest guy than he comes across as, because obviously his history is like a biker gang leader. He's got like a huge like notoriety everywhere. Like everyone knows him as like the gruff biker gang guy. Um, like people will like run away like if they hear his name, and he sort of tries to keep that up to a certain extent. But the reality is he's like quite a like an emotional um and straightforward person that actually does care about people. But he has to come to his own conclusion and realize that he has that kind of person. Like his whole arc is his initial reason to become a teacher is bad, and like but eventually he is a teacher for long enough to realize that he wants to become a teacher for good reasons as well, and
Okay.
eventually just for good reasons. And there were like there's so many situations where he's put in situations where the high school girls like obviously do rely on him, and he's like, well, I could give in to my desires here, but he actively decides not to, and he chooses to actually
Hmm.
be a good person in the end.
okay. I can get behind that.
Oh, solid. Solid.
Yeah, one of the scenes I used to pitch the show is that like there's like a bit in season. Well, it's not. I think there's not seasons. It's just a really long like season. Like it's one of those like classic early 2000
Yeah.
shows where it just
Yeah, I was
ran
gonna
for like
say.
50 episodes. But there's like one of the earlier arcs where like there's this like this preppy popular girl who like in reality she has like problems at home because her parents are going through a messy divorce, and obviously the school don't know how to deal with it, and so Onizuka just like gets to know the girl, and then one day he just goes to her house and he breaks down the wall between her bedroom and the living room with a sledgehammer.
I, I don't know how that equates to him being a good teacher.
Well, basically, he realizes that like no matter what's going on, his like her parents won't pay attention to her because they're too busy getting divorced,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's acting out to get their attention. And
Are
so he's
you
like, well,
ready to?
if nothing else can get their attention, I'm just gonna knock down the physical wall between their life
Okay.
and
No,
your
that's
life.
cool. That's cool.
And so he like nearly gets arrested for it and everything, but
Oh, for a moment, I was like, Fujin, your sense of
yeah,
humor is interesting. No, no,
Yeah, I was
but
like, wait.
yeah. Well, a lot of the premise of the show is taking like a lot of um like school bureaucracy and being like the school cares about its image and the school doesn't want to interfere with children's lives, or the school doesn't want to let the children like act out in any way. And Onizuka comes in as like this black sheep, and he's like, I'm gonna do the thing that no one expects me to do.
Okay.
And in the end, it ends up like, even if it's something ridiculous, it ends up helping because like it's the one thing that needed to be done but no one wanted to.
Yes, like vigilante teacher, but oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
basically, yeah. Vigilante teacher is probably the best way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay, sick. Well, I think it's a good recommendation. I've definitely seen it come up a couple times, but everybody was always like, no, 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 I can't, I can't, I can't. But if you're willing to put your
Yeah.
stamp
Well, yeah.
on it,
There are the only concern is obviously, he's a bit of a paedophile and he does like to look at high school girls' underwear. So that if you can look past that, then
okay, so just close your eyes when any panties are on screen and you'll be fine. Yo,
yeah, pretty much.
sorry, I
He
didn't.
does that a lot. Yeah.
Oh, he does the Brook a lot. Oh no, looking at the panties. That's
Yeah.
funny. All right, sick. Well, Miku said that the hear me outs were 1,000 times better than the goods. Um, I think Miku is indeed a weeb. She wants to talk about anime in the old head sense. So Fujin and Miku, you probably get along very well with your anime takes. The goal,
Well, yeah. I mean, we already do. Don't worry.
yeah, I was about to say, the goal of this podcast is to kind of characterize the three perspectives that you have, regardless of how educated or not educated we are, how thorough we are in our opinions, just to give an idea like what we look for, and how we analyze things. Like even with the list being constructed, I feel like I went for more of like a meta choice and like how those shows occupy, what space they occupy in the world is the way that I approach the list. Fujin, you obviously have like a much more, I want to say like writing basis, and I guess it makes sense since you're writing your own story that would be very important to you, like how many characters you're choosing, how many episodes you're wasting on not developing your world or etc. You enjoy anime that you look up to from like a creator's standpoint. And Venice, tell me about your
Definitely. Yeah.
perspective. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Fujin.
No. I agree. I was just saying. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then, Venice, what was your philosophy with going to your list? I have an idea, but I want to have you characterize it first.
It was just my personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that you, at least Fujin agreed with even my hear me out. So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't really go into it with much in mind besides whether or not I liked it.
And I think that's perfectly fine and reasonable. Like it kind of makes us a balanced core as far as discussing and going into anime. Obviously, as we watch more shows, discuss more shows, we'll all trend towards anime old heads. Venice will go towards Unk. And Fujin will, I guess, keep being him and yelling at the kids about how their anime is shit.
Yeah.
But it's a good way.
We're yelling at you because you're the parasite bad again.
I'm gonna die on that. Actually, no, you're gonna die on that hill, old man. I'll fucking fight you. No, but it's a good way to introduce kind of what we're planning on doing and offering. Now, going forward, we'll be doing a little bit more targeted content. So I think our next, what is it? Our next episode will be about bringing a few anime to the table that we either want to watch, pick up, or do retrospectives on, and then we'll spend, a couple streams at a time going through those series and analyzing them from our own lenses. Does that sound good so far?
Yep.
Yes, that does sound good.
Okay, sick. Before we wrap up, I just want to shout out a couple of anime on my list that I didn't bring up. Hunter x Hunter is goated.
Hunter x Hunter, yeah.
Beastars obviously gets a hear me out. Desert Punk. Did you ever watch that one, Fuja?
Yes, interesting pick. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I fucking love Desert Punk. Please Teachers on there. Psychopaths. Rosario
Very.
Rosario Vampire. I wanted to bring up specifically for the manga in the same way as Berserk.
That's a hear me out, I imagine.
Yeah, this is a hear me out. I chose Berserk because I didn't want to do two manga back to back. But the Rosario Vampire manga, if you haven't read it, it's like a very competent and classic shonen. The harem elements are toned down a lot, and there's a very good. It's just really good. It's way more fleshed out that you would expect from watching the anime. So if you haven't read the manga and you like the anime even a little bit, and you're into shonen, check out the Rosario Vampire manga. But that's what I got. I think we're at time. So
Yeah,
all right,
good stuff.
let's go ahead and transition. We're at the outro portion of the stream, folks. Thank you for hanging out. I do see that. What is it? Do see that Fujin ultimately won the poll for the best list of good anime. Fujin with 2 votes, me with 1, Venice with 0.
That's what I figured.
But it's all good. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Outro music will play us out, and we'll catch you all in 2 weeks for the next one. Did you all want to say bye?
Yeah, I'll say bye. Bye, guys. Yes, not goodbye. I'm goodbye.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Later.
See you. Bye.